After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
It's time to solidify the seeding for the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs. And no better venue than this concrete mile-and-a-third tri-oval that races like a short track. Drivers looking for a bit of momentum before their playoff run have to go through Nashville first. Good evening all, and welcome to the virtual Music City. I'm Emerson Arndt with Ed Scher alongside, and Ed, this track is nuts. Long straights, tight, slow corners, very raceable. It's a shorter race than normal, by the way, as well. It's only 150 laps tonight. Long for some, not long for the Outlaws Sim Series. So what can we expect in tonight's regular season finale?
Honestly, I'm expecting a lot more patience out of these drivers tonight. You know, this little mile and a third, kind of like you mentioned, Emerson, races like a short track, but it's going to be a really tire concerning race, basically, with how these cars manage on this track. We might see some people run the bottom, also the top. Might see a little bit more of a middle groove maybe working, but from looking in practice right now, seeing a lot of different lines being used out there. But I wouldn't expect to see a lot of shifting either. I know when we ran here in the fixed setups previously, Emerson, we had a shift from 5th to 4th in some of these corners, but these drivers might have a setup preferred to where they don't have to shift, but it could be an option to see. So, like you mentioned, it definitely races like a short track, but I think it also races kind of like you would have to drive a mile and a half.
Absolutely. This is about as close as you can get to a mile and a half, right? It's a mile and a third. It's going to race like one. You have to get on the brakes, though, which is not normally or not typically what you have to do in a mile and a half. You started to have to in this NextGen car. But again, tonight, even though, you know, it races like a short track, right, it's going to be pretty similar to Bristol, not only because it's concrete, but if you recall that fixed setup race, at least like for myself, I was kind of in the middle of the pack, and it was all packed up. It was very hard racing, and it's going to be very lane dependent as well. If you can get down to the bottom, you better take it. That bottom lane is the bottom lane means business.
Yeah, it definitely does, Emerson. And like you said, also being in the back of the pack, the dirty air also plays a big factor. This
Absolutely.
car, you have a lot of grip to maintain into the corners. You can see here on the track map, you know, 1 and 2 kind of look the same as 3 and 4, but I kind of feel like 1 and 2 has a little bit more of a shorter span than 3 and 4. 3 and 4, I feel like you can wash up a little bit more than 1 and 2. Because when you're coming off turn 2, you got that straightaway wall that comes at you like really, really fast. If you just push it over the edge just a tad bit, you're going into that straightaway wall. 3 and 4, you have that little bit more of a cushion to where you can run side by side. And 1 and 2, I feel like it's a give or take to whoever has that bottom lane preferred. You can give it into 1, and they want to run that bottom as good as possible. 3 and 4, you can manage it on the bottom or the middle. You can make that work around there. But this pit road, too, is very sketchy, too, Emerson.
Absolutely. This pit road, it's all the way around turn 4. You have to navigate your way down to the banking. Now, you mentioned the exits being different. I like the entries here. This is some very tough. I mean, you're going like 165, maybe 170 into turn 1, and you're hard on the binders trying to get down to the bottom of the racetrack. I'm actually looking at speed right now. I'm looking at 176 at the end of one of these straightaways. But you're getting hard onto the binders there into 1. It's easier to turn the car into 1 because you're kind of already at an angle than it is into turn 3. And you were saying that the straightaway, back straightaway wall comes at you right out of turn 2. Absolutely, it comes at you. But the turn 4 wall, it's a little deceiving because it looks flush. It looks like it's going the way you're traveling. But quickly, you're going to start coming up on that turn 4 wall as well. Calamity can strike in any one of these 4 corners tonight. And I'm all here for it, Ed. But tonight, we are settling the playoff seeding. The drivers themselves entering tonight's race, they know who's going to be in the playoffs and who's not. It's deciphering who's going to be seated where. Also, bonus playoff points are going to be awarded. I don't exactly know what the breakdown is. I do know, though, the regular season champion, which it's a very tight point battle up there between the top 3, only separated by 20 points. Whoever is on top in the point standings after tonight will get 15 bonus points to their playoff total in 2 weeks' time when we start at the Daytona Road Course, Ed.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about needing points at the right time before we head to the Daytona Road Course into the playoffs, Emerson. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how aggressive these drivers will be for these stage points, even going for the race win. I know Max Service and Jonathan Jennings, you see on your screen, both are tied at 4 wins apiece, but I feel like one of those guys would love to have the 5-win column added to their driver status. You know, show that they have a little bit more than that other guy being the favorite possibly to go win this championship one after all. But I really like what I've seen out of Seth Berger, Seth Fitzpatrick, Adrian Schumacher, and Jeremiah Stutzman. I mean, they all shown that they have speed to contribute towards a championship kind of run. But I feel like there's some drivers that don't have a win on their column that absolutely deserve of one, Emerson. And I feel like Andrew St. Cyr is one of them. I feel like Devin Smith, as we saw last week, runner-up at Bristol last week. Those are all guys I feel like that could definitely come out with wins before it's all said and done and the season's over.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ed, last race of the regular season, you need to start your playoffs off on the right foot. Why not give some added momentum heading in there with a win? I absolutely agree. And you're looking at some of those drivers even towards the bottom of the point standings. So you mentioned Devin Smith, who came so close to outdoing Landon Lacey at Bristol. You look at the McMurtries, the Bothwells, the Matt Rogers. Those guys, they're going to be, at the moment, starting in the bottom 4, entering the playoffs. they would like to get themselves out of that bottom 4 as well, and a win would certainly help that, because not only would a win get them out that bottom 4, it would almost, I think it would put them right behind Adrian, dependent on the breakdown. Actually, I'm getting a word right now that the top 10 in the standings are going to get playoff bonus points. Only the top 10. 11 through 16 will not be awarded playoff bonus points. So it'll be 15 for the champion, regular season champion, then 10, and then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to the rest of the top 10.
That's interesting there. I'm wondering, I don't think it's possible, but if Interesting Core, like say he won both the stages and the win, I don't know if that moves him into 10th.
Adam,
it would be close.
It would be hard, because you look at max points in an Outlaws race, I think it's about 70 points. And you look at it, 493, 442, it's 51 points, so it's doable. It's difficult though with a smaller car count. I think Andrew St. Core would have to win to get himself into that top 10, and he's definitely a driver that could use some. While he's got the speed to do well, that's definitely a driver capable of doing well in the playoffs, and a win would definitely help his cause. So it's a lot to look out for tonight. I'm sure even though Reeves and Gillard, they're 7th and 8th, they would like another additional 5 playoff points, because every win gets you 5 playoff points as well. They would like to improve their standing in the playoffs as well. So there's a lot to play for in this top 16. And even if you're not in that top 16, Ed, you can still go for 5th in the title if you're 17th and lower, because of all the resets. When drivers get limited, they get reset back. Essentially, the battle is for 5th in the point standings if you're not in that championship 4.
Yeah, I mean, one guy we have to look at, right? Greg Holt, maybe even Matthew Setzer. I mean, Greg Holt and Matthew Setzer always bring speed every week recently. I know their point situation, as you can see on the screen, ain't that kind of helping, but you know, anything can happen in these next coming weeks. It's that kind of playoff system that we got. You can make up so many points in these next coming weeks that these playoff drivers have to worry about, but these guys that aren't even racing for that, they can just go out there and just try to finish. I mean, it's just a lot less stress on those guys, on the drivers' minds, than these playoff guys.
I'm just bringing it up to kind of give you another look at it, the playoff look at it. But even though McMurtry is only 13 points above, even if Daniel Monix were to outpoint Dick McMurtry, actually that's not even possible. Daniel Monix can't outpoint Dick McMurtry. But even if you were able to, McMurtry has the required amount of starts to make the playoffs, and Monix does not. Monix will not be racing tonight as well. But that's kind of how everything's looking coming into tonight, into the Music City, Ed. We're looking at now the practice times, and Vincent Court says top of the practice standings. That's another thing we have to look at. We got a lot of drivers that are not competing on a full-time basis tonight, that are looking to try to get their own little, boost for their own sake, get a little win, trophy hunting, if you call it. Like a Vincent Cortez, like a Reese Schaefer. I see Landon Cardulo is back. These drivers, they're here to, they're drivers who've ran in the Outlaws Sim Series before. Apart from Vincent, this is his first season, and they're here just to, trophy hunt.
Yeah, what I'm noticing on these practice charts, a lot of Swift Racing, which is not surprising to me. I mean, Swift Racing has been showing up over the last couple of weeks a lot to these racetracks with great setups and all, but it seems like Jonathan Jennings and now Kevin Powell at Last Chance Racing, they've been, bringing in a little bit more speed here in a little bit. But I think we definitely have to look at Jonathan Jennings possibly as a favorite tonight. I kind of, like you said, I mean, this kind of plays out like a short track, right? And who's been winning most of our short tracks? Either Jonathan Jennings, James Gilliard's been really good at short tracks, but I mean, it's a little bit more different than a short track, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of long run speed these drivers had. I know these guys are probably going for qualifying runs and middle of the runs, but it's going to be all dependent on how that long run stability is to see who wins this race.
Absolutely. And again, I'm taking a lot from these practice times, but tire wear is going to be at a premium tonight. So it's not all for naught on how these practice times kind of play out in tonight's race. I know, again, drivers towards the top of the standings are looking good, and they'll have to clean at the beginning, but a driver from the middle of the pack that takes really good care of their stuff, they can run their way through the field. With that being said tonight, Ed, we look at the practice times. We're getting ready to get into battle tonight for the regular season finale. Who are you kind of looking at to have a good day today? And I think we might pull them up here and see if we can get a little bit more knowledge before we get going here.
I'm looking around a little bit, and is he in here? No, he's not. Okay, I was gonna say Greg Holt possibly, but I don't see him in here. Why not? Let's talk to Adrian Schumacher possibly for a second. We'll get his mind going here.
You'd like to talk to the good old road ringer. Here he comes, headed your way, Ed.
Yeah, the little road ringer, Adrian Schumacher. Adrian, you look fast in practice right now, running 5th on the charts currently right now. And this being the last race of the regular season, how much of a factor are you putting on this race for yourself, especially since, you know, most of the guys above you in the points have that little bit extra cushion of playoff points than you do? Are you looking to possibly try to go win stages tonight, or is it mainly just about trying to go get the race win in general?
You know, I gotta go for the race win. Just, yeah, try and do stuff different and try to find the speed to compete on ovals.
Yeah, absolutely. And Adrian, you know, this playoff system I feel like fits for certain drivers, but these first 2 rounds I feel like fit your kind of more solid driving. You know, we got that one little mixture of road courses in between these first 2 rounds with Daytona Road Course and the Charlotte Roval. Knowing the road course expertise that you are, Adrian, does that kind of give you a little bit more of a, I wouldn't say like a leeway in the playoffs, that like if you had that one mistake that you know for certain that's that track that you can go to possibly make your next step towards that championship race?
I mean, yeah, this first round of the playoffs, even if I don't win those races, I'm pretty confident in myself I'll do good enough to secure myself into the next round. But since the road courses ain't like spread out like in season 1 in the playoffs, yeah, that I'm going to be worried about. Not so sure.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, you're just fantastic on the road courses, Adrian. You know, you won a Canadian Tire early in the season, and you won at Laguna Seca, of course, dominating that race in the fashion that you did, almost lapping the entire field at that place. But, you know, is there any other certain track that's not a road course in the playoff schedule coming up that you are looking like, okay, I definitely have a shot to win over all my teammates and possibly make it into that final round?
Well, Talladega, anything can happen there.
Absolutely.
Probably New Atlanta, and probably Darlington would be a good one also. Other than that, I mean, I'm mostly mediocre at those other tracks.
I wouldn't say you're mediocre at him, Adrian, but I like your guesses there. I mean, yeah, like you said, we got Talladega and New Atlanta, both being good super speedway races, but hopefully tonight is a good race for you, Adrian. I mean, last race of the regular season, I know you want to focus up going towards the playoffs, but good luck to you tonight, and hopefully we'll be talking to you later.
Yep. Hope you guys have fun.
And we definitely will. That driver, number 82, Adrian Schumacher, of course, doesn't need much of an introduction. A driver who really can get it done on those roadies without a problem. Also got himself a Daytona win back in season 1. We look at it. 5 minutes left in practice. I'm looking around. I am looking at somebody that I think could one of those drivers that could use a little jolt coming into the playoffs. Somebody I've been wanting to talk to, actually. Oh man, I don't see him around. Yeah, that sucks. I want to talk to one of those drivers that are just outside, or not just outside, but they haven't won yet in this season, and they could definitely use one. Let's look here. Let's see who we have. Wow, I'm looking at a lot of drivers. I was trying to
Slim Pickens.
Slim Pickens, yeah. No kidding. You know what? I have an idea. We're gonna go bring him on up because there's a couple things I can go with this. But I want to bring up Adam. Adam, we're now on the beginning of the end. Oh, the beginning. Yeah, wow. The last race of the regular season finale here at Nashville. I know you're 16th on the charts right now, but what's the game plan tonight? You got a little bit of a cushion, of course, to 11th. But I know you're competing, for some bonus playoff points, entering the playoffs, and how can you set yourself up for a nice little playoff run with tonight's race?
Well, last couple of weeks have been some pretty bad luck early, and not necessarily for things we can control. Had connection issues at Charlotte, and then last week ended up just getting collected and a few wrecks early on. But so first thing we got to do is turn that around. Part of it, I think, was got a little bit of an equipment upgrade, so it's been adjusting to that and getting a little bit more comfortable with it. So I'm anticipating my runs getting better. Overall, my racing across the board has seemed like it's been getting better, so I'm looking forward to hear more than I was a week ago tonight. It's definitely not one of my better tracks, but we'll just take what we can get from it. See if we can swing that momentum in a positive way at the right time.
Absolutely. I know you're kind of dreading that first round. I know road courses is not your thing. So have you been putting any extra work on the upcoming roadies? Or do you have a game plan that you're going to go into those races with? Or are you going to kind of set everything and go balls to the wall at Milwaukee? What's your game plan to attack that first round?
It's a good question. To be honest, like you said, road courses really haven't been my strong spot, I guess. But I ran a race the other day over at Watkins Glen and think I figured something out with some of the new equipment that I got. When second half of the race, I was substantially faster. So I'm just going to try to keep it on the pavement, see what comes from it. And surviving that first round is key. If I can make it through that, I know the next couple rounds are good. Kind of dreading the final four race if I make it, because again, that's not one of my better tracks. So, but we'll see what happens. It's end of the day at this point in the season. I really top 10 in the points right now coming into the last race is better than I expected. Kind of what I was hoping for, but wasn't too realistic about it. There's been some lucky breaks along the way that have helped that along, but part of it's also just going ahead and toughing it out on the bad days and taking what I can get from it. It's time to get to work, I guess.
Absolutely, and it's a lot because this is now what with it being one of you, I think your best run on the iRacing side of things here with the Outlaws Sim Series. You do also run this whole thing, and I wanted to kind of put your league owner cap on. Next week we have a great event, a little bit of a break from the points racing. We go all-star racing next week at Kansas. I also can't believe that it didn't make the schedule. I'm glad it's making its appearance as the all-star race. What can we expect next week? And you said fan voting starting tomorrow. Give us a little bit more insight into that as well.
Well, as far as what we expect from my car personally, that depends largely on what happens tonight. It would be absolutely awesome to win my way in tonight and not have to worry about that open. But at the same time, Kansas is just a track that's always clicked for me personally. And I think with this new car and the drivers that we got going on, both the Open and the All-Star races are going to put on some amazing shows. If not able to race my way in tonight, definitely have every expectation of doing that, being able to race my way in the Open. And worst case scenario, there's always a fan vote to fall back on, so that should be pretty interesting to see how it plays out. I know the plan is to open the fan vote tomorrow around lunchtime, after we finalize the race tonight. Try as far as people that will be eligible for it already. Anyone that's won a race this season or last season is guaranteed to run in the All-Star race. Then we'll have the 3 segment winners from the Open plus the fan vote, and that'll run from, like I said, start tomorrow around lunchtime, and we'll likely close it next Wednesday at noon, so that way we have time to get everything tabulated up and figure out who's making it in on that. And who's going to race their way.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Adam, for the insight. Sounds like a fun event next week. You got some work to do tonight, of course, to maintain that 10th position in the point standings and into the playoffs. So best luck to you, driver, and hopefully we're talking to you a little later on.
Appreciate it. Hope everyone watching enjoys the broadcast. Absolutely love the show you guys put on each week. Hope you guys love the show that we put on the track each week. And looking forward to running this Roger Race Wraps Toyota out there and showing off these sexy colors.
Absolutely. All right, Adam, take care.
Thank you.
Driver of the number 56, Adam Gardner, and what that means that is we are into qualifying. Drivers already taken to the track, and we can look at how about the number 77 of Seth Berger. This is a driver that would like to get that 4th win and kind of be on equal footing with his teammate and Max Service and also Jonathan Jennings entering the playoffs. Seth Berger, he was fast in practice, top of the charts, I believe. If not top, he was right behind Cortez. Right now, Holt goes fastest, and Berger starting his timed lap.
Yeah, and, to point out, Seth, I feel like, has been one of the more consistent drivers in that Swift Racing camp as far as maybe finishing top 5 and in the points for stages and stuff like that. But I just feel like Seth is bringing a little bit more consistency to these kind of little complicated tracks as we see him running around turn 4 to complete his first lap. See what kind of time he puts down here on the board as he crosses our finish line. A 30.2. That puts him to the top of the charts. A little bit over 2/10 over his practice time. His practice, he ran a 30.05. I don't know if we'll reach that kind of time as now Reese Schaefer, his other teammate, reaches the top of the board.
That's illustrated by the beautiful new fastest lap graphic that we have on the broadcast here, along with a whole boatload of new graphics and more to come. So again, you appreciate the look. Go ahead and comment about that, and I'm sure Andrew, of course, who makes all the graphics for us at Pit Stop, will very much appreciate it. Reese Schaefer wraps up his qualifying run with a 30.126. As Jacob Reeves top of the charts in number 22 machine, and he pulls it off the track. Looking at the driver who ran in Season 1. He was the 8 car back in Season 1, now returning to the Outlaws Sim Series. Now in the 13 car, took a little bit of a break in Season 2. Landon Cardullo returning to the mix.
And how about Landon Cardullo? I know you and me both know him personally really well, Emerson, and he's a great friend of ours. And good to see him here in the Outlaws Sim Series returning in that 13 Toyota NextGen Camry. Let's see what kind of lap he puts down here, as his first lap, I believe, was invalidated. I'm not entirely sure why, but he's going to come down here to complete his second lap, going down the back straightaway into the turn 3 here. A little bit of braking, not too much. You just want to carry as much speed as you can into this corner, wash it up off of turn 4. Just don't hit the wall like he did right there. As you saw, that's the one mistake, Emerson, like you mentioned. That turn 4 wall, it comes up on you sketchy, but you want to try to carry as much speed as you can off that exit to go to the start-finish line.
You're right. And Landon, when he ran in Season 1, he had 20 starts, 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s, 55 laps led. That's a fast driver we're bringing to the table here. Now, how about this driver, Justin McMahon?
Yeah, absolutely. Justin McMahon, I had my eyes on last week to possibly get a win at Bristol. He had great top 3 speed. Looked like the only guy that can really compete with our last week's winner, Landon Lacey, for the win. But Justin McMahon definitely showing a couple of names out here that he's definitely one to compete for some race wins as we're closing down the season. See what kind of lap he puts up here. His previous lap was a 30.56 up in his warm-up lap. Let's see what he puts down here for lap 2. He looks like he'll go a little bit slower there. Interesting to see there. Usually you see them go faster on the second lap. I don't know if he's just really warming it up as much as you see Vincent Cortez slowing down on the back straightaway as he goes to the top of the charts. That's more like the practice time. He just ran a 30.05, Emerson, and that was close to what he ran in practice. Actually, just 1/1000 faster than he did in practice, but really good lap there for Vincent Cortez as we see Andrew St. Cor starting his lap off for turn 2.
You're right. I got some insight that these boys might have a little bit of long run pace tonight, so it'll be intriguing to see what's someone like an Andrew St. Clair can do in the long run tonight. But before that, he's got to, of course, qualify. And where's he going to put this bad boy to start? First lap, it's a little off there. It's 15th quickest out of 16 times. I'm sure Andrew is just trying to spool this bad boy up for a second lap here.
Yeah, try to get all he can out of this second lap. And it's not surprising to me to hear that Andrew St. Clair has a long run pace tonight. You remember New Hampshire, Emerson? He was starting on the front row and had that long run pace to where he was running down our leaders to possibly contend for a win, but had that little bit of a mistake on pit road, and it looks like he has a great set of corners there. 3 and 4, carrying a lot of speed. Let's see what he brings here. About 6/10 faster than he did on his opening lap. Drops him up to 9th place on the charts.
30.309. And has one more go at it here. 3rd lap from Andrew. Let's see where he puts it.
Reps that bottom, great into turns 3. Gonna carry as much speed as you can off of turn 4 without hitting the wall.
No! He popped it.
Just barely.
It ended up being slower, probably because he popped the wall as well. But that is unfortunate. This driver had a pretty nice hot streak at the beginning, in the middle portion of this season. Jeremiah Stutzman got himself 3 wins in about 4 weeks. And rocketed himself up into the playoff standings, and is looking to maybe get himself one more and be on equal footing entering the playoffs with the rest of the playoff competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the more consistent guys that we had in the garage area here in Outlaws Sim Series, but didn't have the kind of showing we expected out of him last week. You know, we talked to him a little bit. He wasn't happy with how he performed. He felt like he could have done a little bit better, but you know, he's got to have that confidence booster a little bit as we're getting closer to the playoffs. He's got to get his confidence up a little bit, start showing off a little bit more speed in this 71 machine. To see him coming down here into turns 3 and 4. It looks like he missed the bottom just a tad bit. Gonna hit turn 4 pretty well. Nice lap coming here. Let's see. Yep, jumps pretty good. 2/10.
That'll be
a 30.2.
Yep. 30.240, 7th quickest, and he is looking for more way up the track. Let's see if he's able to get that, keep that speed up. Also, Landon Lacey has taken to the track. Max Service has taken to the track. Lacey, he's actually only gone 17th quickest. Cardullo has gone 18th quickest. We are now awaiting Max Service. But here comes Stutzman. A little bit of a blink. It'll be a 326. It'll be slower. We're going to catch up with our regular season point leader around and in the wall.
Talk about the worst time to catch up to him.
Well,
he goes head first into the wall, the front straightaway.
Well, the good news is these drivers have multiple laps to get stuff done here in qualifying. Max Service is going to load up and go at it again, but he's only got 100 seconds now, so he's got to be on it.
Yeah, Max, a part of that Swift Racing group, should bring out some good speed out of these Swift Racing machines, and as we know, Max usually builds the setups for these Swift Racing guys, and I mean, being the builder, I mean, you gotta be fast, right? You gotta understand.
Absolutely. It has been something, right? I mentioned this to him before we started. That it's crazy that he's giving out his setup to to the rest of his team at Swift Racing, and they do well in their own regard. Of course, right now Cortez top of the charts. Schaefer won at Eldora, and Berger's won a couple races. But it's crazy that Max is able to give out his stuff, and he's still the one who can run it the best. He's the regular season point leader.
Absolutely. We'll see what kind of time he puts down here. This is obviously going to be his warm-up. His next lap will definitely be his fast one. Yeah, not too bad.
Now Service going to go for pole.
Yeah, let's see if he goes for pole here. Carry a lot more speed off of turn 2. Carry it all down the back straight away. He's got to hit this turn 3 pretty well. Let's see if he carries the bottom pretty well. Oh, it looks pretty good so far. Can he make it off of turn 4, though? He does. Let's see what kind of time this is. Yeah, 30.7. Puts him second.
Second quickest alongside teammate Vincent Cortez. And that is going to wrap up qualifying. Max Service goes second. And it's Vincent Cortez winning the Pratt, Tile, and Stone Pole Award. And, of course, Pratt, Tile, and Stone serving Central Vermont since 2005. So now these drivers getting ready to do battle, and they will start gridding up. And we have a beautiful new starting grid graphic kicking us off here with Vincent Cortez on the pole, and his max service on his outside. That's the front row, and the starting grid, of course, powered by Whiplash Media sim cams. Row number 2, we'll find the 91 of Jonathan Jennings, the 22 of Jacob Reeves. Row 3, it'll be the 17 of Reese Schaefer, the 77 of Seth Berger. Row number 4, it'll be the 82 of Adrian Schumacher, the 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman. And round out the top 10, it'll be the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick, the 3 of Greg Holt.
Yeah, in row 6, we got the 12 of Andrew St. Cyr. Alongside him, Justin McMahon in the 20. Row 7, James Gillard in the 33. Alongside him, the 5 of Matthew Setzer in 14th. Row number 8, Kevin Powell in the 93. Alongside him, Matthew Byers in the 96. Or 94, excuse me. Row number 9, Jacob Zoll in the 4. Alongside him, last week's winner, Landon Lacey in the 54. In row 10, the 13 of Landon Cardula. Alongside him, the 96 of Matt Rogers.
21st, we'll find a 69 of John Mickey. The 56 of Adam Gardner will start 22nd. 23rd, it'll be the 95 of Evan Smith. 24th, it'll be the 47 of Andrew Schroeder. And rounding out our 25-car grid this evening is the 67 of Doug Solms. And it's 150 laps tonight, and we're going to get things rolling here pretty quickly here. The pace car's already rolling off the pit lane. Track temp 120 degrees. The air temp 89.1 degrees, and the winds 11.5 miles an hour out of the northeast. Pretty tough racing conditions, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. 120 degrees on this track temp. It's going to be a little bit of a hot, little slick track, I feel like. So we might see some little bit of a looser conditions out of some of these drivers, possibly. See if they make any adjustments on this first pit stop. And remember, I believe correctly, lap 30 is our first stage, and then I believe 86 is, or 68 is our second, if I'm correct.
Yep.
I don't think.
30.
So we'll have to race. So we're racing the end of lap 30 for this first stage for some of these drivers to get to the stage points, and lap 68. So it'll be interesting to see how intense this start will be to see who fights for first position going into turn 1.
VIRacing.com, safety vehicle finding its safety and pit lane. The field in the hands of Vincent Cortez. And green flag flies from the Music City. This is the battle. Here we got cars in the grass. Kevin Powell.
Yeah, Kevin Powell went off the nose of, I think, Landon Cardula. I'm not sure entirely, but I saw a darker color car go off the nose of Kevin Powell.
Real quick, we'll try to get a replay of it. Here we are, Kevin Powell in a 93.
It's off the front straightaway here. Let's see what happens. Looks like the 4, Jacob Zoll gets got loose, and that's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate there for Kevin Powell. Landon Cardula with the fastest lap now, and we'll get back to the live action.
Pretty good save there. Not entirely major damage for that 93, so just have to wrap it back up and hope for a quick caution to get back lined up with these guys.
So Jonathan Jennings has moved his way into second, and this is the battle we want to keep our eye on throughout the day tonight, Ed. Is the 17-point advantage Max Service has over Jonathan Jennings coming into tonight. At the moment, it is 15, but again, you have to factor in stage points and all that jazz. Reese Schaefer goes fastest. Vincent Cortez is blinking a little bit. He is now under attack from the 91 of Jonathan Jennings, though.
And I'm looking a little bit further back. Battle for fifth, Jacob Reeves and Seth Berger. Seth Berger starting to make his presence known. Going down to turn 3, it looks like Seth had to check up a little bit. Jacob Reeves with a really good line running that middle line like I mentioned in pre-race. It's going to be a little bit of a bottom and middle line here at Nashville. You can make it work some corners, but some corners you want to let the drivers go. But Seth is not giving up this fight.
Absolutely not. Except Fitzpatrick as well, Adrian Schumacher. Everybody kind of packing up here. And this is what I was mentioning about the raceability of this track. Very raceable here. It promotes pretty nice side-by-side racing. Again, the outside car does want to try to get down to the bottom as soon as they can, but they are able to run that outside for an extended period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Jacob's going to be able to run again onto Seth, but right now Vincent Cortez out front by Jonathan Jennings. Looks like everything's starting to single file back into play here as I see a couple batters starting to go on a little bit. Looks like James Gilliard got around Craig Holt for the 9th position, and Landon Cardullo got by both of them now. So I believe Landon is now in 9th place, correctly.
Yep, Cardullo is moving.
Oh.
Yeah, there's Cardullo. He has kind of cleared everyone else. He's not looking to try to work his way to the front pack. And yeah, Vincent Cortez is having some connection trouble. So we'll see here what the deal is tonight. And he's actually, he's still out.
Yeah, he's fully gone.
Oh, there he is. He's back. But I don't know how long race control is going to allow him to run like that. For what it's worth, he is the leader. But he does have cars right behind him.
Yeah, and to be aware, Vincent, you and me both know him. He lives in Florida, and they've been getting some pretty bad storms down there in the Florida Bay recently. So that definitely could play a little bit of a factor in his internet issues. He's been having it for a little bit now, but let's see if it clears up here hopefully soon. So but right now he's
not playing well for the Floridian. And
no, of course.
Right now everyone's running nose to tail. And 8 laps complete now. Cortez, Hedge, Jennings, Schaefer, Service, Berger, Fitzpatrick, Schumacher, Reeves, Gilliard, Cardullo, the top 10. Who's actually falling back now? And this is the Landon show, battling it out with the defending Outlaws Sim Series champion Greg Holt.
Yeah, I wonder if Landon Cardullo had a moment there, because for a moment he was ahead of James Gilliard, and now James has passed him now for the 9th spot, and it looks like he's falling back here to the crutches of Landon Lacey, who's moving his way forward after starting in the back in 18th. Landon Lacey, our last week's winner at Bristol, so we'll see what's going on here. But I'm hearing on race control right now, we're hearing some complaints about Vincent Cortez, and I believe Vincent Cortez is being told to let the leaders go by, so we'll see here what's going on. Yep,
and he's going to jump up to the high side of the racetrack, and he's still not having the best at time. But Schaefer tried to take advantage of it. Nearly to the outside of Jennings. Schaefer trying to get after it with Jonathan Jennings. As Jennings takes the race lead, Schaefer in hot pursuit. It's also Seth Berger who has pulled ahead of Max Service. All of that being said, this is now a 13-point advantage in Max Service's favor as opposed to the 17-point advantage. Plus, you have to consider, the stages there to run like this. It's another 8 points, and it comes down to a 5-point advantage if things were to end the way they are and, file out this way. So Max is, he's not secured the regular season championship by any means, and needs to get on if he's going to.
Yeah, and how about our front, front 10? We got Swift Racing, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th and 10th right now currently, as we see Seth Berger go underneath Vincent Cortez for the 3rd spot. I don't think Vinny's going to fight him that hard into turns 3. Nope, he'll just give him the spot. So move Seth Berger into the top 3 now. Just behind them, Max Service is also pushing his way forward. And how about Agent Schumacher? We talked at pre-race. Not feeling all that great about coming here and now working underneath Seth Fitzpatrick for the 6th position.
Yep, Service is working by Cortez. That's going to give Service a point there. Schumacher trying to get by Fitzpatrick without getting into the back of the 23. Getting a little tight there.
I think he's trying to use Vinny maybe as a pick. Maybe he's trying to drive it up into the corner to possibly keep Fitzpatrick behind the 23 to use him as a pick maybe to get by him.
Well, however that played out, Schumacher got a 2-for-1 special in the corner, and he was ahead of both Cortez and Fitzpatrick.
I got a bounce with Emerson. Reese just went by Jonathan Jennings really easily in the turns 1 and 2. I was really surprised to see that. I think Jennings just saw how Reese was a little bit maybe faster than him, and it looks like Jennings just gave it to him in turn 1.
I believe so. We can maybe take a look at that. Let's see.
I'm not entirely sure. I got there up late, and it looked like Jennings just gave it to him, unless maybe Jennings had a moment off on 4 and had lost some straightaway speed compared to Reese. See here on the replay, maybe entirely was that. It looked like Reese just had a better run off of 4.
Yeah, he just had a better run, dove it down to the inside, and
Looks like Jennings didn't even want to fight it. He's like, "Yeah, go ahead. I'll get you later."
Pretty much. I think that was the plan there for Jennings, to just kind of let Reese go and see what happens.
Yeah.
So Reese Schaefer leads Seth Berger. Oh, sorry, Jonathan Jennings, Seth Berger, Max Service, Adrian Schumacher to top 5. Cortez is still working his way down the running order. Doing a quick graphic reset here, but we're still bringing you the coverage live from the Music City.
Yeah, we're just about halfway in this stage. Reese Schaefer out front, and now it looks like Jonathan Jennings is starting to get a little bit under fire from that 77 machine. And to be aware, I was told that the Swift Racing guys had a little bit of something up their sleeve for Nashville. So I'm not surprised to see a lot of Swift Racing drivers in this top 10 currently right now. But, I mean, Reese Schaefer doing a fabulous job out front. Seth Berger now trying to get by Jonathan Jennings for second. Jennings is currently trying to hold him off, but looks like Seth is going to have a run back here on the back straightaway. Might peek to the inside. Yep, here he goes. He's going to peek to the inside of the 91 going into turn 3.
So Berger clears into that second position and makes things look easy there. And Jennings, he's dropping back here. I don't know if this is entirely in Jennings' game plan here to drop back this part of a run, but again, we do tend to see Nashville go a little bit more greener than most tracks, and Cortez is dropping way down the running order. Cortez has parked it, so I think Cortez was just trying to get out of everyone's way. And
yep, he's been asked to take it to the garage.
That is unfortunate, but for what it's worth, you could almost see it coming. He was having connection troubles, and it's unfortunate. He was very fast. Again, qualified on the pole. He led laps, and he was asked to give the lead up, if anything. And now has been asked to leave the race.
Looks like we got a Swift Racing battle starting to heat up a little bit here for 4th. Adrian Schumacher has reeled in Max Service for 4th place. As soon as I say that, Adrian hits the wall off of 4.
Adrian was getting a little aggressive there, and you know what? That's also probably the dirty airplane. Its factor there. He got right behind Max Service, and the nose of the car just took off.
Yeah, absolutely, and not what you want to see there is a Swift Racing fan. But
Landon Lacey,
so I'm looking through this. Yeah, Landon Lacey has been making his way through this field from 18th up to 7th. I believe he's our biggest mover of the race so far. I can't confirm that. Actually, yeah, I think I can confirm he is our biggest mover of the race so far. Slowly but surely making his way up to the front. Problem.
He's gone around. There's massive damage on the 3 machine.
And right front is down. He has a
that's not. Yeah, I was like, that's not a flat tire. That is a destroyed tire.
Looking to see what happened here. He was working side by side with Gilliard.
Yeah, so we'll get the replay
for a moment.
A little overhead shot. This is entering turn 3. I believe this incident happens off of 4. Gilliard, he's up in that 3rd lane, giving Greg Holt a lot of space. And Greg just gets loose and overcorrects hard into the outside wall.
Yep, there goes the tail link.
Oh my goodness, nearly clipping
wow.
McMahon. And that'll be day done for the defending series champ.
Yeah, that's how easy it is to, do anything with these cars. It's just that difficult, and it looks like we had an issue on the track. I heard something going on in turn 1. Oh yeah, the 56 and the 13, it looked like, ran into each other. I see some damage on both of their cars.
Yeah, Cardulo's on pit lane.
I see right front damage on the 56, and I see left side damage on the 13.
We'll see here the replay. This is Cardulo and Gardner, and not having the best of days, but they're just trying to, leg it around. Adam, of course, trying to, finish off his regular season. Landon just trying to get him a nice little run in. Landon, they both go up the track.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think Landon lost it, and I think Adam was following him in his tire tracks just about. Yeah, Landon was making his way through the field. I wonder if he just burned off the rubber that fast on his tires.
And let's remember, Landon is very new to the next gen car. He's kind of doing this race to kind of gain experience in the next gen car, just to run it, just to learn it. But he's rarely ran the car, and Nashville's a very tire degrading track, and I think Landon figured that one out quick, and unfortunately found himself in the wall. And Adam was following in his higher tracks, and well, he found himself also in the wall, or
absolutely
making contact with Cardula.
Yeah, and I can confirm Seth Fitzpatrick has got around Adrian Schumacher for 5th. Now Layden Lacey is also looking to get by the 82.
Adrian looks like he's in trouble.
Yeah, that's the second time I see him get loose off a 4 right there. I wonder if that wall damage maybe had anything to affect the handling of that 82 machine.
It definitely might have flattened out that right front a little bit and not make it as handle as well as he'd like. Lacey powers by, no problem. And I was going to say, you're right. I think maybe Schumacher was being a little aggressive on his tires. Here comes Fitzpatrick on service. This could be very telling on how tonight's going to go with a last chance car and a Swift Racing car.
Hey, Jennings hasn't really been, pulled out by a lot over Seth when Seth got by him. He's been steadily there. So maybe it's something out of these last chance guys. And maybe they want to save a little bit more tire than Swift. Maybe we're seeing it out of Seth Fitzpatrick here as he's trying to make a move around Max Service. Max has been running this bottom lane a little bit more better than Seth Fitzpatrick a little bit. Just more in 3 and 4. And now he's going to use the dirty air to his a little bit advantage as you see the 2 wash up a little bit off the corner exit. Definitely going to leave out a little bit of an issue for Seth. But doing all that, Landon Lacey just a little bit further behind him, making his way through this pack. Now up to 6th, starting 18th. So Landon Lacey is also moving his way towards the front. But I really like what I see out of this whole top 5 right now. A lot of these drivers, I feel like, if one little thing could slip, I feel like one of these guys can definitely be our winner as we're closing in on the stage end soon.
Yeah, the stage is. I was just about to mention that. Max is really wanting to hold on to the spot before the stage end. Of course, he is only 1 spot behind Jennings, and it would be minimizing the damage done between Jennings, closing that point lead that Max has.
And I'm looking further on the back in the stage end possibly. Andrew St. Core is rounding out this top 10, trying to get around Matthew Briers for 9th. He's been trying to different lines to maybe get some clean air on his nose as Matthew's running the bottom, which will make it a little bit difficult for Andrew as Andrew's going a little bit wide into turns 3. But Reese Schaefer took the white flag there for stage 1. Coming back to the green checker here this time for stage 1.
All right, just 1 lap to go, half a lap now, in the opening stage of tonight's regular season finale. And rounding turn number 4, Reese Schaefer, the driver from Midland, Michigan, will come to the line and win stage 1. Seth Berger finishes 2nd. Jennings over service. Fitzpatrick, Lacey, Schumacher, Reeves, Byers, and Andrew St. Core round out the top 10.
Yeah, I was wondering, I saw a little bit of smoke off of turn 3. I don't know if you catched it, but one thing I'm noticing, James Gilliard, who was running in our top 10, is now in 20th, a lap down, and is not even on the track anymore. So something must have happened to the 33. I'm not entirely sure what, but he has called it a night.
No trouble there. We'll try to get this one queued up one more time. Here we go. We found James Gilliard. This is the replay. So he's coming off a turn 2 here. Looks okay.
Hey, he looks fine. I'm not entirely sure what happened, and he just pulls off.
So I think maybe just something came up, or it was maybe just supposed to be a starting park tonight. Clips the grass as well. Does a half spin. I think that'll do for the 33.
Yeah, Devin Smith did the same exact thing. I just watched Devin Smith come down pit road and has called it a night too. And he had no damage either, so maybe, I don't know, maybe some starting parks that we weren't told about or something like that. Something's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, that just pulled it down. This is
odd.
I am not entirely sure what is going on. Why drivers are calling it quits tonight. So, yeah. And he's left the session. You are right. I wonder if he sped maybe on his pit entry and he left because he didn't want to, figure out that
maybe
the rest of the race.
Well, after all that from stage 1, Emerson, Angel Secor has finally got his way around Matthew Byers. So, move Angel Secor and Byers, sorry.
Yeah.
Byers, it's close. I know it's not the same, but be a Byers. But, Angel Secor worked his way around him for 9th. He was getting a little bit frustrated. I could see the way Andrew was driving. It looks like he was just really trying to get around him. And I think he wanted to do that a little bit more earlier than the stage 2 to get that extra point, but
Landon's returned to the
somewhat
track.
now.
And he's working his way now past Matthew Byers. Landon, I think this was him just, getting some new tires on it, learned the car a little bit. He's now, he's only 2 laps down, so at the moment he's the lucky dog. And he's not, I guess, out of the race yet. But Landon, I figured he was probably actually going to leave after pulling it down the pit lane. He's actually decided to continue and learn some more about the car.
Yeah, and all that, it's going to be close because Adam Gardner's about to go a lap down here sooner or later. It's about a quarter of a straightaway between him and Reese Schaefer.
And he was the other driver in that incident.
Yeah, and then a little bit more further up the road is Matt Rogers, who's about 6 seconds ahead of Adam Gardner. Those are 18th and 17th, but I don't think Landon, unless he gets a caution sooner or later, will get the free pass because I believe Reese Schaefer will catch Adam Gardner at some point.
Oh, Max is loose. Here comes Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick around the outside. He will blow by Max. Service. Max is going to dive it back down to the inside.
How about Landon Lacey maybe making it work too? Maybe a 2-for-1 here.
Well, not really a 2-for-1. Maybe a 2-for-1 return policy for Max.
Yeah, that one too. Yeah, the low return.
And Lacey does pick up a spot there, so does Fitzpatrick. And now, Max has lost a little bit of touch there to Jonathan Jennings.
I was about to mention that. Jonathan Jennings has lost a little bit of a touch to Seth Berger, too. I'm wondering if he maybe has had a little bit of a tire issue, possibly burning his stuff up a little bit. Seth's margin to Reese has been steadily at about 1 to 1.2 seconds. And it really hasn't gained or lost any time. It's been mainly around that region. But Jonathan Jennings, who was once behind Seth by not even maybe a half a car length, is now about a second and a half off of Seth Berger, just about.
We're getting to that point of run, Ed. Very late in this long run now. That tires are really starting to shine here. The drivers who took care of the tires, they're starting to rise to the top.
And I'm wondering if we might see maybe an early pit stop from some of these guys, maybe like a Jennings or a Max Service or an Adrian Schumacher maybe. Because these guys do have 6 tire sets,
Schaefer got sideways there.
Oh, yeah. I think this is where we're starting to see, like you mentioned, Emerson, the tires are starting to pay off a little bit. We do want to bring up again that this track temp is very high. It's a slick racetrack right now. It's about 121 degrees, as you see there on the bottom left of your screen. Track temp right now is 121. I know the winds are about at a northeast, about 11 miles an hour, but that doesn't really help the drivers as much. It actually might make it a little bit more worse, to say the least. It'll make it a little bit more looser off the corner, like we saw Reese Schaefer there off of turns 4. But going back to what I was saying, Em, you think maybe we might see maybe an early stop out of some of these guys, like an Adrian Schumacher or Jonathan Jennings? They do have 6 tire sets, so it's not like they have limited tires.
I see the stop happening at lap 50 and lap 100. Make it a 2 stop and get out of here.
Absolutely. I can agree with that.
I think that's what everybody would be going for here. Especially with the tendency that this race looks like it's going to be going green. I don't see too much.
Just gotta make it 9 more laps.
But that advantage that Seth Berger was gaining on Reese Schaefer has equalized, and there's also the pass now for 4th as Lacey has worked his way by Seth Fitzpatrick. Max Service has regrouped, and he is now in tow as well.
And Adrian Schumacher's joining into this too. He's just a little bit behind Max.
You are right. Matt Rogers
like
rejoins the track 2 laps down, and Justin McMahon rejoins 1 lap down.
Looks like Adrian trying to figure out how to drive his car a little bit with that damage, as I saw him get really loose a couple of times. Like he's starting to figure out how to adjust to it. As we see Jonathan Jennings getting passed by a couple of bit of lap traffic, but Landon Cardulo and Matt Rogers. Maybe this might hold him up a little bit for Landon Lacey and Seth Fitzpatrick to catch him possibly.
Fitzpatrick, they run about half a lane higher than Lacey to the corner. And how much does that really do? I know we're at Daytona week right now in the officials end. I know half a lane does a lot when you're tucked up behind somebody. But we're talking now a track where you're braking and you're having to get the car to rotate. How much does half a lane help?
Any bit of air you can get on that nose helps a tremendous ton. Even if it's barely on a headlight or anything, it helps the car basically want to turn. As you see, Landon Lacey goes up just a tad bit more, and Seth is trying to point his nose more to that left. As you see, just below that seam. If he can get his car more pointed to where that left headlight gets just about that little bit of clean air, it helps him on his rotation on entry just a tad bit more than Landon. But as you see there, Landon kind of blocks it off a little bit more. But it definitely helps your rotation on entry, and it might even help you on exit. As we saw a couple of times where Seth Fitzpatrick got loose when he was behind Max Service, remember? He got stuff behind him, and Max was giving him the dirty air, and it kind of making him wiggle on exit. But mainly all it's about entry with your car, basically with the dirty air.
So Reese Schaefer still holds the lead, and I'd imagine most of the field will be pitting very shortly. But Reese Schaefer has a 1.2 second advantage. Out in front of the field, we have 15 cars on the lead lap still, and Schaefer, I thought he was coming down that time. He looked pretty slow.
Yeah, he looked slow.
But he still has that 1.2 second advantage, so that might be just how much the tires have fallen off.
Yeah, I'm watching their speeds right now. They're going way slower into the corners. I was watching Landon Lacey just now. He went down to about 122, 123 miles an hour into the corner from 180. So they're talking about a 60 mile an hour difference going into the corners now. So they're definitely backing up a lot more.
Oh, there's one. That is Adam Gardner, and I think he's going to miss the pit lane as well. He did get down, but he was looking like he was going to go off into the grass.
As I say, looking back on this onboard with Max, how hard he's fighting this wheel. I don't know if you guys can see it. His hands entirely. He is fighting this thing right now to get it to turn. Just watch his hands. Gets it to steady rotate there, but just watch it in the middle of the corner. See, he has to correct it just to the right. Right there, which is, it's just that dirty air. It's just that little bit of a factor that happens. That just gets you sideways from the middle of exit off. That literally is all that big of a difference of clean air compared to dirty air.
Here's another battle.
How about Jacob Breeze and Sandra St. Cyr?
Oh, Andrew St. Cyr got loose there off the corner, and Reese Schaefer's coming down pit lane.
Yeah, so is Jonathan Jennings, Landon Lacey, Seth Fitzpatrick. Oh, Seth Fitzpatrick missed it. Washed back up the track.
Oh, no. And come back across pit lane right in front of his teammate.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
We got a lot of company on pit road. The only person that stayed out really right there was Steph Berger and Adrian Schumacher and Max.
Yeah, most of the Swift racing there, except the leader, all stayed out there.
It's like everybody mixing into their box pretty well. I didn't see any mistakes there.
See if we can find out or see what happened. Oh, Max Service hit into the back of Seth Fitzpatrick here. We'll see this on the replay.
Let's see here. It's really rough to slow down. Oh my.
Oh, man.
That's a rough hit.
It That's a big hit. That one might hurt Max a bit.
Now, luckily for Seth Fitzpatrick, he was able to make it still to pit road because he didn't get to that commitment line yet.
Yeah, a lot of right rear damage on the 2.
I don't see that much damage on the A1. I can't really see it well, though.
You can see it noticeably there on the 2 car, though. My goodness.
Yeah, that's not going to help him at all. And looks like the 12 made it to pit road, and he is now exiting. Now we're just waiting for our leaders to make it down to pit road.
I'm shocked they did not take the lap 50 bait as well. But they're probably going to go as long as they can and have fresher tires at the end of their run.
Yeah, and Reese is right behind Adrian right now. That just shows what kind of pace he has right now on those fresher tires. Trying to unlap himself currently.
Top 6 have yet to pit in this race. That being Berger, Schumacher, Service, Byers, Setzer, and Stutzman.
One thing I'm looking at too, Adam, Layden Lacey made up a lot of time on pit road catching Jennings, and he is reeling him down with these new tires too. So that might be a position we might have to watch further on as Layden Lacey starting to make up some time to catch Jennings. Jacob Reeves is going to fall in just behind Layden Lacey after the mistake from Seth Fitzpatrick on pit road. Andrew St. Cyr also just behind Seth Fitzpatrick, but when it all cycles out, I believe Reese Schaefer will be our leader.
Reese Schaefer is the highest driver right now who has pitted. And he's going to be the first driver who's pitted to unlap himself. Look at the speed difference.
Wow, yep.
Just powering by. Look at this. He's going to leg him. Watch this into 1. He's absolutely going to leg.
Oh, yeah, he's going to outbreak him. Look at that. Sorry about 5 car lengths.
Look at that. That is the difference of tires, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes, it is. And I'm wondering here if Seth maybe might want to come to pit road now since Reese unlapped himself. You don't want to lose too much time. Unless this is all part of a strategy maybe to hopefully pull out a caution or something.
I think he's just trying to go as long as he can, but...
Here we go, Adam. Layden Lacey on Jennings. Going down the front straightaway. He was side by side with him. Jennings just closed the door. Looks like Jennings is trying to fight this off as hard as he possibly can right now. Oh, look at that. He just shuts the door, giving him all the dirty air in the 1 and 2.
2 W cars, but they're not teammates.
No, they are not.
Jonathan Jennings, Landon Lacey. Again, Jennings, a very fast driver coming into this series. Lacey, very fast driver from last season. They hadn't raced each other much until this year. And now they are getting to know each other very well.
I don't know if you saw that, Em, but did you notice what Landon Lacey did in turns 3 and 4 right here? You might see it again right here, what he's doing. He is pulling way off. He's pulling off of the gas way earlier than Jennings into 3 to try to get the run off of 4. Watch him here. He's going to try to get as big of a run as he can off of 4. Maybe even use his lap car as a pick. He closes right up to the back end of that 91, just about off of turns 4, backing up his entry so far off of turns 3 than Jennings.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's just Jennings driving the car corner 2D. Yep, Lacey has a run, looking to the inside. Number
this will be for
legally.
P3, or well, P2 maybe, possibly.
This is, yeah, so it is P2 overall. Because McMahon had pitted, and he was ahead of him. He's not behind him already. But McMahon had pitted 15 laps, or 13 laps before Schaefer did. Oh, there's Jeremiah Stutzman. You know what Stutzman's doing.
Oh, I have a feeling. I was about to bring that up maybe about possibly Seth or Adrian or Max maybe doing that as well. Because I don't know if he can one-stop it. I mean, how close can it be?
Well, I know someone who is trying to one-stop it. It's just 71.
I mean, how far you think you would have to go to one-stop it? Maybe like...
You'd have to save about 5-6 laps of fuel.
What do you think, lap 75, 80?
Oh, 75 is halfway.
Be close.
That's what I'm saying. He'd only have to save about 5 or 6 laps of fuel.
Yeah, Jeremiah's last lap was a 34.0 compared to Seth Berger, who ran a 32. Oh, and Jeremiah just said he's coming into pit road this time.
Well, that has drastically changed things. So he lost a lot of time, and he's pitting nonetheless. So
Yeah. You want to know how big of a time difference it is between Reese Schaefer and Seth Berger right now, Em? Reese Schaefer's last lap?
He's already half
was
a lap behind. He gained over half a lap.
Reese Schaefer's last lap was a 30.71. Seth Berger's 32.74.
Yeah.
It's a 2-second difference from new tires to old tires.
I mean, Schaefer's already... He's almost about to pass them for position.
Now, I'm curious if Seth's strategy here, it's interesting. I don't know if he's thinking maybe the fresher tires matter that much. I mean, obviously they do. I mean, seeing the pace that Reese Schaefer has, but... I mean, does he think that he can get back up to Reese possibly with a fresher set of tires?
I don't know. Obviously, that's what he thinks because he's trying the strategy, and Seth Berger's all in it for the win. So he does think that way. Is he going to be able to? I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, so are his teammates Adrian Schumacher and Max Service. Matthew Byers are still out there as well.
And Matthew Setzer's also one driver who has yet to pit. So, watching Reese Schaefer, he is already now 11.5 seconds back of his Swift Racing teammate, Seth Berger, who's leading the race. Adrian Schumacher holding station there in second. Max Service there in third. Wait, they're going for the stage. Ed, they're going for the stage points.
Interesting.
68's the stage, Ed.
I didn't think about that, honestly. I completely lost my mind. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so they're trying to play the stage game. Trying to see if that's going to be a viable option. 3 laps to go in stage number 2.
Yeah, Seth Berger's going to get himself a very valuable stage win here. Definitely going to be good for him. I mean, every point matters. I mean, right? You don't want to be out of the playoffs by 1 point and think back then, you know, that stage that you could have won in Nashville. You could have got that point. Yeah, this helps. Every playoff point matters. You need every single one.
Max Service in third. Adrian Schumacher in second. Matthew Byers, he's not racing for points, but he's still out there in now getting past. He is in 6th. And Matthew Setzer sitting in 10th. I don't think Setzer's going to be able to hang on for his stage. When Justin McMahon has come down the pit lane. Oh, I'm sorry. McMahon was, he was one of those who came down.
And here comes Seth to take the white flag in the stage.
Just 1 lap to go. Stage number 2. And Seth Berger has a 3-second advantage over his teammates, Adrian Schumacher and Max Service. Down the back straightaway now for the final time in stage number 2. And it's going to be 1 playoff point to his name. Should be able to pick up the throttle here and bring her home. Stage 2. It's going to end and it'll go to driver number 77 from Elmhurst, Illinois, Seth Berger. Winning the stage. Adrian Schumacher crosses the line in second. Service third. Schaefer fourth. Lacey, Jennings, Byers, Reeves, Fitzpatrick, and St. Coeur. They have yet to cross the line.
And I believe I just heard it correctly. I believe our whole top 3 just came on the radio and said they are coming to pit road this time. So, absolutely playing the stage. Seth is really loose.
Oh my goodness.
All right, did we give him style points for that one? Because that was a really interesting
Schumacher
entry.
stays out for a lap.
Huh.
There's no real need to. He can't get lap lead points. That's not a thing.
Max Service is in. Matthew Setzer also on pit road. I mean, he's been getting service, but he's on pit road as well.
Byers stays out.
Now, it's going to be interesting to see how far behind are just Seth Berger and Max Service from Reese Schaefer once they come off pit road here. Oh, here comes Adrian. Seth Berger's just leaving his pit box now.
He's
and
a
where
lap
is
down.
Yeah, he's gone a lap down, but how fast can he make up all that time?
One driver left to pit on this pit cycle is the 94 of Matthew Byers. And now Byers is a driver I'm thinking is trying to stretch his 75. Because there's no other reason he should be out here at this point.
I honestly think so too. His lap times are interesting as well. You know, they're not as slow as we saw Jeremiah's. He's around the 32.9 range. And he did it just about again there. I'm not sure if is he shutting it off or anything. He's just running around at he's running around in 5th gear. Maybe just doing the old high gear strategy of just running around. Oh, he's lifting really early too. I was on board with him there. He's in the corners. He's lifting way early.
I mean, he's not getting on the gas off the corner. He's saving fuel.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Coasting
like
now.
you said, yeah, if he makes it to that 75 mark, maybe 76, you might have to watch him later on. Yeah, 76 would be good. I mean, he would still maybe.
The unfortunate thing is to do that, he's also got to save a lot after this as well.
I'm pretty sure I just heard him just come over the radio and say he's coming this time, and going from his pace, I would say he is. Yep, here he comes.
Might be out. Or close to out.
Might be. Oh, almost didn't make speed there. He had to lock up the front.
I think he got close enough that he'll be A-okay.
Yeah. We got a battle going on for 4th right now. Jacob Breeze has caught Seth Fitzpatrick. And then we got Jennings, who's starting to reel in Landon Lacey, but not by much. But Jacob Breeze and Seth Fitzpatrick still going at each other. So many closest battle I can see on track right now is Seth Berger has just got around Kevin Powell. So if a caution did come out right now, Seth Berger would be the first car a lap down. But as soon as I say that, Seth Berger has just unlocked himself by Reese Schaefer.
Well, that being said, he's not done it yet.
Oh, he's working on it. He's working on it. There he goes.
There he goes. So we're going to go ahead and step aside. We'll be taking a side-by-side, Pit Stop TV side-by-side here. Max Service with the fastest lap. We're not going anywhere. Don't you go anywhere. Reese Schaefer, 5-second lead here at Nashville.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence. After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Nashville Super Speedway. We are now into the second half of this evening's regular season finale here for the Outlaws Sim Series, and we are putting a regular season to bed. We are gearing up for a playoff run in a couple weeks. Don't forget, of course, next Wednesday night will be the Outlaws Sim Series All-Star Race from the Kansas Speedway. You heard Adam Gardner talk about it at the beginning of the show. We'll have a fan vote all throughout this upcoming week. We'll have an open. We'll have the All-Star Race itself, and it'll be a grand old time. You won't want to miss it. But also on Pit Stop TV Monday night, and I don't know if the time's been set just yet, but Monday evening we'll have a new event to the channel. It's NASCAR Rallycross, and it'll be at the Summer Rallycross layout, and that's going to be a fun time. So whenever that happens, please do tune in, because it's going to be it's going to be insane. It's going to be the NASCAR Gen 6 car on a rallycross course, and that just sounds absolutely insane. But we do have to take a moment here and thank our partners here at Pit Stop TV, Whiplash Media Sim Cams, of course. If you like the views that you see on the screen now or throughout all the broadcasts this season, head over to Whiplash Media Sim Cams. Of course, the official graphic and camera provider of Pit Stop TV. And you can, of course, check out Whiplash Media Sim Cams at www.pitstoptv.com/Whiplash. SimRat Market, of course, is, again, you can find them at simratmarket.com. But on that site, they have a plethora of schemes for a whole variety of cars on the iRacing.com motorsports service. And with that, either A, if you don't have the time to paint a car for your iRacing races, or you don't really know how to paint a car, or you want a new outlook on how to stylize the car that you've been painting, head over to simratmarket.com. Check out some of the paints they've got on there and get painting. And you can, of course, buy a paint scheme from the website, throw the logos that you need to throw them on there, and you can load her up and race. It's fantastic. Check out simratmarket.com and use code PSTV at checkout for a discount. And of course, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. You deserve the best care that money can buy. Check them out at www.permanentmakeupinmaine.com. Working lap 85 of 150 here. It's Reese Schaefer with a 6-second lead over Landon Lacey. Jonathan Jennings third. Fitzpatrick Reeves the top 5. Everybody's kind of working their way, so the order as it is not how it's going to fare entirely. But there's still another pit stop out there for many drivers, Ed, and that should be coming soon.
Yeah, one thing I've been watching, and I mentioned it before while we were in the break, Emerson, Landon Lacey and Jonathan Jennings are just going after each other right now. They're not only are they fighting each other, but they're also losing time to Reese Schaefer while doing so. Reese, in my calculations, has pulled out to about 6 to 6.5 seconds of a lead currently over these two. So doing all that, these two are just losing time to the leader, and it doesn't look like Jennings wants to give up fighting for the spot. I think he definitely wants to get by Landon Lacey and see what he can do, but I feel like doing all this is not going to help either one of them in the end.
You're right. Here is Jonathan Jennings diving it down to the inside and sliding up. Lacey pinning him down. It is the W Energy Drink cars going at it. And,
the W&W show.
Near contact. And it is Lacey holding that top spot.
Is there like a blue and purple flavor for W and a red and black flavor for W? I would say they're just fighting for over flavors.
Neither.
Like a black cherry? No?
No, there's no black cherry. And there's no...
Like a blue limeade or something like that? No?
No, there's only a Dragonade, a Dub Sludge, and Galaxy Grenade, and
well, first of all, I have no idea what kind of color that would be, but
I mean, they just have stylized the cars that they feel they should stylize. Here's Jennings at it once again on the inside. Can he get the job done?
doing all this. He might have to just drive it in the 3 here. Yep, and as soon as I say that, he does. But Lacey's going to have the power on the back, and looks like Jennings got tight, but he's going to be able to clear him. A good pass for Jonathan Jennings there. So let's see what he can do now. I mean, he was fighting for this position. All he wanted was to get by Lane and Lacey. Now, how much time can he make up to get up to Reese Schaefer?
Well,
and Reese has been running 32 threes. And Jennings that last time was faster than our leader. He was a 32-2, but only by a half of a hundredth. So,
well, again, the said pit stop, right? That's coming up in about 10 laps or so time. So it's going to have to happen over the course of the next 60 laps. It's not going to be a project before the pit stop here. So
yeah,
it'll be intriguing to see how that all plays out.
And I mentioned what kind of pace Seth Berger was going to have. He just got around Jacob Breeze for 5th place. And now it's starting to hunt down Seth Fitzpatrick.
Seth is on it. I want to shout out Ed on the call with me this evening. I'm Memphis Narden. If you want to join our crew here at Pit Stop TV, go ahead and send Andrew an email. Andrew@pitstoptv.com. Always use a helping hand. You're right up to 5th, Seth Berger. And to close up there on Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick battling Byers, who is lapped. He is lapped. Trying to unlap himself.
Yeah, Kevin Powell right now is the first car lap down. He would be the free pass currently if the caution would to come out.
Kevin Powell, that first car, 1 lap down. So here's this battle. Not going to be too much of a battle. Berger's just going to dive it down to the inside.
And I'm watching the pace from Seth to Reese. Seth last time, let's see here actually. Seth this time ran a 31.9, and I guess he's side by side with Seth Fitzpatrick, so that implemented the time. Reese that last time was a 32.3.
Yeah, the battle would impact his time.
Yeah, he's making time, but I just don't know if it's going to pay out for Seth in the end, or I don't know if he's just trying to maybe to get a podium, but it's just Reese's pace is just consistent. I mean, I really haven't seen that big of a fall off really on Reese to say that, you know, Seth or Jennings or Lacey might have him. Because Reese, once he just got out front, it just looks like he was just on a cruise control.
Yeah, Reese Schaefer, he is absolutely taking command of this race. Once Cortez dropped out and Schaefer drove by Jennings, that was it. Schaefer has kind of taken it and ran. And we'll take a look at the race info, of course. It'll say 7 lead changes. That's all really pit cycle. There's only really 2 lead changes before pit cycles.
Yeah, Jennings for that little short bit, and then Reese when he got around him. But you and me both know Reese, Emerson. I feel like once Reese gets into a comfortable groove, once he's out front, I don't think he can get him really. It's that difficult. I mean, he's just a consistent
did Lacey
driver.
Just get the wall there?
I think he hit the wall. Is there something wrong with his toe? No.
No, there's no suspension damage, but I do think he popped the wall.
Okay, it just looked glitched on my end. I was scared for a second. I was like, oh no, not another good run ruined. Because Justin McMahon had a good run last week at Bristol and had that ruined from a wreck. And as you see, Justin literally right behind that. So
McMahon, he's had a rough little day. He's now 2 laps down, trying to unlap himself. Maybe put him 1 lap down so he could chase down Reese Schaefer. But
hey, he's the first car 2 laps down.
No,
that wouldn't help him.
Though,
yeah, that doesn't help. We have at least 5-6 cars a lap down ahead of him.
Yeah. So McMahon works on by Lacey, obviously not for position. Berger is chasing down Lane and Lacey though. And Kevin Powell on the pit lane. He missed the box a little bit. He lit up red on the timing screen. That's why my attention went to him.
It might be a scheduled stop. I don't know when his last stop was.
I think he's trying to short pit. The pit stop's coming up at lap 100.
And it's smart on his part, you know, not having the kind of day he wanted after that, you know, little spin early on in the race that got him loose off a 4 and into the grass. But still, he's trying to recover manageably. I think he got 9 cars on the lead lap. He can maybe with his pace, maybe salvage a top 10. That would be a good day overall, I feel like.
Certainly, if you can find your way back into the top 10, not too shabby at all. This is a pretty stout field that comes to play each and every week for the Outlaws Sim Series. And even though car counts have not been ideal, besides Charlotte, I think Adam was very pleased to see the car count at Charlotte. Other than that, it has not been to his liking for the most part of this stretch of the season. It's still, the drivers that do show up, they are good.
Oh yeah, every single one of these drivers definitely are very talented and, you know, put on great shows no matter what. But I'm really impressed with how these guys are doing here tonight. You know, I was expecting a little bit more of a chaos to where we had a couple of yellows, but so far so good. We're clean. Hopefully it's not a jinx. I'm knocking on wood right now currently. I know you can't hear it, but I mean, still, it's a great race overall. I love when we have green flag racing like this and brings down the strategy calls. I mean, we had the strategy with Reese and all, but it's going to be interesting to see what kind of strategies. I believe Jennings is coming to pit road.
Here goes Jennings. Wow. Schaefer stays out there for another lap. And Lacey as well. So Jennings is in.
I think Lacey's going to try to make as big of a lap as he can to see if he can overlap Jennings again.
Adam is in. He is spinning that rear tire.
Oh, and I believe our leader's coming to pit road now, too. I see his speed dropping in the middle of the corner.
Schaefer's
here
coming
he comes.
in.
A little wide there, but good entry overall.
Make it in.
Locks up the front. Lacey stays out.
Lacey wants to just get himself a lap. Led Fitzpatrick missed the box by a bit, had to reverse.
And now Seth Berger is now going to be our second place car. And he is only about
4 seconds back at Lacey.
Yeah, it's about
Not
4
even that.
seconds. But I'm wondering, Jacob Rees, I think he was part of that early stopping too, right? He wasn't with like the Seth Berger and Max Service kind of stop. I think he was part of that whole strategy where he pitted.
Yes, Jacob
As
Rees.
soon as I say that, here he comes.
Let's see, Jacob
Oh, and he about spun it up pit road. Holy
baby.
cow. Hey, everyone's just going sideways. I think everyone's trying to go for stop points here.
Well, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast that this is one of the tougher pit roads to get onto.
It is. It's slick. It's really slick. You're talking about going from 130, 120 miles an hour down to 45 on a slick transfer from, you know, pavement to pavement. It's really difficult.
Absolutely. The concrete surface actually of the racetrack doesn't help.
Yeah, the concrete does not help at all. You can kind of almost compare it to Dover, at least. Dover is even more treacherous, in my opinion.
It's all the concrete tracks that have tough pit roads, huh? Dover, Bristol.
Yeah, all right. Go figure, huh?
Shockingly, have not seen Lacey come on down. I don't know what the game plan is for Landon Lacey.
I'm not sure, but doing all this, Seth is gaining.
Well,
And
that makes sense. Seth has 20 lap fresher tires. I don't know why Lacey's subjecting himself to this.
No, I'm not sure either. I think, I don't know. He's got to be
already
thinking
unlapped
through.
himself.
Yeah, Reese has unlapped himself. Where's Jennings? Jennings is just behind Seth Berger right now. So that's gonna be interesting.
There goes Schaefer, fastest lap.
Oh, here comes Max Service.
Max coming in. I don't know. We'll see how this one plays out.
I don't know, but Reese is hauling right now. He just ran about. He is hauling. Last lap was a 30.1. That one was a 30.2. He is moving.
I think Schaefer wants to get himself another one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Jennings hasn't even unlapped himself yet from Landon Lacey, so I really don't know how big of a gap that is. It's got to be at least over 10 seconds, in my opinion. If I could do the calculations, maybe close to 10 seconds.
From who to who?
From Jennings to Schaefer. Schaefer just crossed the line just now.
Well, I mean, Jennings just unlapped himself, so you'll be able to see it. It is 8.5 seconds.
8.5. All right, I was close.
Schumacher's in. This is intriguing strategy.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
entirely
really
sure.
curious. I really want to ask Landon after this. What made this come on? Like, I don't know what. He had good pace. I mean, you and me both know that. He was definitely top 3 eligible pace.
And this isn't his first rodeo in the Outlaw Sim Series. See a lap car coming in there. Seth Berger there in the picture trying to close that gap 2 seconds back. But Landon Lacey ran last season. And I know we had a little bit of a tricky start this season because everyone was trying to get used to the NextGen car. But Outlaws is a typically green to checkered race. I mean, so many races go caution-free in the Outlaw Sim Series on the regular. Lacey, if he's out here banking for a caution, I just don't see it. Here he comes.
Oh, there he comes. Yep.
Seth Berger will take the lead. Lacey gets down to pit road speed. And now Seth Berger has a 14-second advantage over Reese Schaefer. And I don't know what his game plan is here. I don't know if Seth is out here to try to win the race at this point, unless he catches a yellow. But I just went through the tangent on how unlikely it is that you're going to get a yellow. And
It's unlikely.
Seth
Oh,
Berger,
here he comes, I believe.
Oh, yep.
I think I just heard him come over the radio saying he was coming.
I
Yep,
was
here he
just gonna
comes.
say, he's the Season 1 Outlaw Sim Series champion. He's even more used to Outlaws going green from green to checkered.
Oh, Landon Lacey just went to the garage.
Well, he called it a day, so I guess Lacey was banking for a caution and did not get that yellow.
So fortunate. He was having a really good run. Just fortunate, though.
Still to pit, Stutzman, and Byers. Other than that, everybody is pitted.
Seth is just leaving his box now. I don't think he'll barely go a lap down.
But he's not going to have anywhere near the tire advantage he had on Reese before. He's only going to have 10 lap fresher tires as opposed to the 20 laps he had earlier.
Yeah, but I think he could drive a little bit harder than Reese, though.
That's fair. He only has 38 laps left of the race, so he can really kind of not necessarily burn him up, you know, all the way, like not go quali lap for 38 laps, but he can run hard.
Oh, yeah, I think Reese's pace is probably going to back down here in the next 20
Also,
laps maybe or so.
importantly, Berger's still ahead of Service. Even though Max came in a few laps before, and now Stutzman is in.
There comes Jeremiah. You and me both thought he was going to try to do a fuel strategy. I was 100% on board with it, but I guess not.
I thought it was going to be easy, but he obviously the king of field strat, and he's not the king of stopping on the sign, if that means anything. But the king of field strategy in the Outlaw Sim Series decided that it is not viable this week.
You know, I was saying Seth Berger can go hard on these newer tires. He only ran 0.3 of a second faster than Reese that last lap.
That's what I'm saying. The advantage is not huge for Seth Berger here.
I mean, the best maybe Seth can get is maybe a top 4. Actually, no, he can get top 3 if he puts his mind to it. He's only 8 seconds, maybe 7 seconds back of a third place. So I think he could definitely get Byers.
Well, also Byers has to pit.
Yeah. So honestly,
maybe.
So honestly, yeah. So honestly, he just has to look at Seth Fitzpatrick. So yeah, he can definitely get a top 3.
Time to go a little through the field, and let's talk about this dominant run that it has been for this driver, Reese Schaefer. I mean, what has it been today? 73 laps led. He started 5th. He hasn't even fallen outside the top 10 today, and he's made both his pit stops. What does that say?
Absolutely. I mean, just execution. Perfect execution, to be honest with you. No mistakes. doing everything a driver needs to do. Crew's doing everything it has to do. Just the driver needs to go out there and perform, and Reshaper's doing that today. And then just behind them, Jonathan Jennings, 11.5 seconds back. Still on the pylon. Another good day for the 91 machine at Jennings. Good points day overall for him. Top 3 in or top 5 in both the stages. Not going to get the outcome he hoped for today. I definitely think he wanted a chance to possibly go after the win, but still, nonetheless, it's going to be a great top 3 day for this 91 machine.
He's getting close on trying to get that regular season title, but Max does have fresher tires than him. So he's going to have to do a lot. He's going to hope Max has some bad luck or something. Jennings is going to take the regular season championship.
And I think Max is definitely going to get some more positions too, so it's not going to help him in that favor either.
Seth
Back to third, though. Yeah, Seth Fitzpatrick, another great run as well.
He started 9th, and he's made his way to 3rd, so he has been on the up and up. And remember, he got ran over on entering pit lane.
Yeah, I was going to say that we thought that his day was going to be over after that damage, and it's actually not as bad as we thought. I mean, he's steadily recovered from it, no matter what. So still going to be a good day for that too.
But
yeah, it does.
But he is hauling still.
Yeah, still running competitive lap times, and then behind him having a really good day as well. I definitely think this is my gold star for the day. Jacob Reeves having a great day no matter what. Started 4th, still running around the top 5. It was a great solid day for that 22. Like we talked to him in Daytona, all he wants to do is just finish consistently. Top 5s, top 3s, and he's doing absolutely that.
Look at that stat line about consistency. Started 4th, currently 4th, been as high as 4th.
Lowest has been as 12th.
Well, that's pit stops, so.
Yeah. Imagine if the lowest he was 4th.
If he never left 4th place all day, my goodness.
never went 4th. Just stay there.
Seth Berger, this driver, he's been on it. He's got himself 21 laps led. He won stage 2, started 6th. He's up to currently 4th. He's obviously led. Then he's making his pass now. Oh, yep, that's for 4th. Has a podium opportunity in him and might have a chance at 2nd. I don't know what his likelihood of a chance to win the race is without a magic yellow thingy.
And then the guy he just passed just behind him, Andrew St. Cyr again. Well, Jacob Reeves, of course, but then just behind him, Andrew St. Cyr having a great run no matter what. I mean, started 11th, having a great day. I mean, he did tell you he's having a great long run pace, and he definitely showed it. He's been as high as me,
but I've heard from someone that he should have good long run pace.
Yeah, he definitely showed that he had great long run pace. Got held up a couple of times by some other cars, but still, it's a great running no matter what from this 12 machine. Just needs to finish consistently off before we get into the playoffs, and I definitely think this 12 will be something we have to look at once we get into the playoffs for somebody to sneak out a win possibly. But then behind him, members. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then just behind him, man, the 81 and Max Service, our points leader. Like I said, it's going to definitely gain a couple more positions, I feel like, before this race is over. I think he'll be able to catch that 12 before this is all said and done. Do a great showing no matter what for that 81 machine. Great way to cap off the regular season with a points lead. And, I think Max, we can all agree, definitely after winning 3, I believe it was 3 in a row if I remember correctly, I mean, just showed this is going to be a good season for this 81 team. And I mean, capping off the regular season while in the points lead is definitely a good sign, but you just got to manage to keep up that consistency going all the way through the playoffs into the championship race.
Max Service, the last car on the lead lap. Matthew Byers just got lapped. Then that number 94 Losa Pros Ally Chevrolet Camaro. Byers has had an up and down day today. Started 16th. He's been as high as 3rd. I don't really know what the strategy is for him, but he's right now right in there in that 8th position. First car, 1 lap down. It's Reese Schaefer out in front. 25 laps to go this time by.
I did mention that Seth might be able to pull off the top 3. I think he might be able to get 2nd.
Oh, that's what I've been saying. I think 2nd was definitely up for grabs. I don't know about Reese.
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 We're gonna catch Reese. But
Reese is way out there, so
he's gonna Oh, dude, you did not just do that. You just pulled that joke out of the card. Anyway, but Seth is definitely going to catch Jennings no matter what I feel like. Jennings, had a long run pace, but I just don't see how he's going to maintain it throughout this rest of this race as we about just under 25 laps to go in this race. And it looks like Reese is just going to have to steadily just bring it on home. Just take it a little nice stroll through Nashville, go through the boulevard, go up and down, I don't really know when we're naming the streets, but, just take a nice little stroll through Nashville.
Yeah, go through the Music City.
Yeah, there you go,
Maybe find your way over at Memphis as well. Check out Graceland. Yeah. Elvis is home in Memphis.
Absolutely.
Adrian Schumacher's unlapping himself here. Here's Adrian, currently 8th. He started 7th. He's got himself a lap lead. Doesn't do him too much. It's not a bonus point or anything, but just a stat pad, I guess. He's been as high as second, but technically he's led lap, so he's been as high as first. And he's unlapped himself. Not too bad for...
Oh, Kevin Powell's in the grass again.
Oh, no. And he is towed it back to the pit lane. Try to see what happened to the 93.
I believe he may have had some contact. I don't think this was just a solo incident like he had earlier, but let's see. Goes on the bottom. Oh, here comes Max on fresh tires.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Max gets into the back of him.
And again, and again, and again.
Into the grass.
And towed it.
I mean, for what it's worth, Max did just kind of drive through him.
I'm in Kevin's defense here, and just run your line, you would think Max would just understand that. He ran the bottom, and still Max just kind of drove through him, but you would think Max would run the top, maybe the middle a little bit to go around him, but
I think Max was trying to time it up to get off, the corner and make the move, but he just caught him so fast that he just drove through him.
Yeah, he didn't expect to carry that much speed going on entry to understand he was going to be literally right up underneath him. But unfortunately for Kevin Powell, just not the day he was hoping for. 2 incidents and probably a day ended early for him.
This is St. Coeur.
Top 5 on the line here. And clear.
Made that
not
pass. Bad. The Canadian,
yeah.
Andrew St. Coeur.
Only about a half a second up the road is Seth Fitzpatrick. Maybe he can go get 4th maybe from this.
Maybe, and it's been a nice little run for Andrew. He's right there in frame.
No matter what, these two, no matter what today, have had a great run.
Absolutely.
They both need consistent finishes, and this is definitely what they were hoping for, I think, from both of these guys. Especially Andrew St. Coeur. We know Andrew's had a couple of rough weeks where, Pocono didn't go his way. New Hampshire, definitely thought he had a better finish coming out of that. And I think this definitely shows what kind of speed he has in this series to compete for a championship possibly at the end of the year, but definitely has pace to maybe shock some people and win at some tracks coming up in the playoffs. But no matter what, it's still a good day for both the 22 and the 12, no matter what.
Absolutely. And he is reeling in Seth Fitzpatrick. Max Service has not been closing this gap as much as he'd like.
I think that whole thing with Kevin Powell, I think that ruined...
that's the second time Max has taken damage to the nose.
Yeah, that nose probably ain't that healthy anymore. But you know how these next-gen cars are. They can take a beating, though. Especially with that new update. These cars can really take a licking if they have to. But when it comes to, sides into the wall, other than that, that definitely needs a toe leg repair. But other than that, these things can take a beating.
Certainly, they can take a hit or two. This gap is closing. I am sensing a potential battle here.
And Seth Fitzpatrick looks like he's losing little bit of grip under his car right there. It looked like he was about to hit the wall and barely grazed it, but it looks like Andrew's just really showing some good pace right here. Yeah, has a great run right here off the corner. Like I said, I mean, you just got to get as much on that nose of clean air as you can. You got that whole left side just about. You might look here. Let's see. Seth Fitzpatrick up. He's going to go to the bottom, try to put all the dirty air on his nose, but see how Andrew's pointing that right front just about a little bit higher to get that air. Didn't get as loose as Seth Fitzpatrick hoped he would. Let's see if we can do here in the turns 1 and 2. Oh man, he just drives it in there.
Huge run entering the corner for Andrew.
Oh, he's gonna have to gather it. He's gonna have to gather it back up there. He had a moment right there.
But Andrew's being so patient. You hear him, he got lightly on the throttle, but he never really unleashed full power until he was straight off the corner. He's being patient with it.
Absolutely.
Got a car on pit road there. That's Matt Rogers.
You know, Andrew had his battle earlier in the race with Matt Byers. And, I mean, he was getting frustrated with that whole deal because it took a long time to get by him. I'm just curious to see how patient he's going to be, knowing he has a faster car than Seth Fitzpatrick, how patient he's going to be to possibly just ride behind him and wait as we're closing down into the final, this time about 12 laps to go in this race.
Well, I don't think Andrew wants to throw away a top 5. So I think he'll play it smart. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he's got about a second and some change to Jacob Reeves.
Absolutely loves these opportunities when he gets them. Seth Berger has stalled out, so his quest to get second is taking the turn.
Yeah, I think he might have pushed a little too earlier than he wanted to. I'm watching his times too. He's fallen off into the 32-second bracket, and he's only about a tenth faster than Jennings a lap, so it'll be close. But I don't think it's going to be close enough. This is mainly the battle we need to watch here. I think this is the one that we're going to definitely see something happen for before we get to the end of this. I think Andrew St. Clair might find a way around this too.
Closing that gap, this time by 10 laps to go. Actually, next time I will be 10 laps to go. They're that far behind Reese Schaefer. So that's 11 laps to go. Reese Schaefer somewhere out there. We'll cross the line and take 10 laps to go about now. There.
Yep, right there. He just got it just now.
I wonder if Fitzpatrick can hold off St. Clair. St. Clair has 1 lap fresher tires. So at this point, they're 39 and 38 laps old, so they've probably evened out.
And St. Clair right there was 2/10 faster than Fitzpatrick. St. Clair just looks like he's able to. I know. It just looks like St. Clair is able to just drive it in deeper than Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick really has to take a more passive entry than St. Clair. But you just can't do anything about this dirty air. I mean, it's just rough on the nose right there. And St. Clair right there, you just saw it. He got a little bit loose on the exit, lost a little bit of time. Now he has to gather it all back up and try to get it back into 1 and 2 here. As he does right there. See what I mean? He just drives it in way harder than Fitzpatrick into 1 and 2. He's just able to keep it. It's just a matter of where you go in this situation. I would say you try the top, but you just risk that chance of fencing yourself possibly if you just overdo it the slightest bit.
When it comes down to it, Ed, well, actually, we'll keep our eyes on this battle one more time. I was going to take a thought about Reese Schaefer, but we'll have time. I think Andrew's got a run. He's sending it now.
Oh, he's washing up.
Oh,
Ooh.
he lifted, but Fitzpatrick gave him room.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick gave him a lot of room. They're still going to be side by side off the corner just about.
Here we go. That's what Andrew needed. A glimmer of hope, an opening. And a send into 1. Andrew sends. Oh, near contact. St. Court trying. Can he throttle
He got
up? He clears to fourth. Whoa, don't wall it. He's not done yet. Defensive, down the back.
Gotta protect the bottom no matter what. Don't let him get to your inside.
Oh, he got down there. But can Fitzpatrick keep it down there?
I don't know. He might get him on exit, though.
Oh, baby.
He's there.
We've got a battle, Ed.
Oh, it's there. They're going to go back and forth at it. Oh, St. Court tried to shut the door. Oh, man.
Fantastic.
Oh, St. Court's going to... Look at that. St. Court just powered it off the exit.
Side by side, down the back straightaway.
And good. St. Court just tries it into 3 to make sure he closes the gap, but doing that, he had to back off on the middle of the corner. Fitzpatrick might have a run again. Yeah, St. Court's loose. Fitzpatrick to the top.
Still side by side in the 1. St. Court drives it back down into the corner deep. Can he get it to rotate?
Yeah, looks like he got it there. I don't know if Fitzpatrick's going to have anything else for him there unless St. Court just makes another mistake here in 3 or 4 like he did before. Oh, St. Court gives him the bottom there. I don't know if that's what you want to do. Yeah, right here comes Fitzpatrick again. St. Court that time was able to shut the door, though.
Well, that continues on. This is all going on behind the 17 of Reese Schaefer, who's taken 3 laps to go. And Ed, the point I wanted to make about 5 laps ago was Reese Schaefer has to be the king of winning by 10+ second margins. He has 4 career Outlaw Sim Series victories, and 3 of those 4, he won them by over 10 seconds. And he's looking to do that with a 4th out of 5. He's only won 1 race with a margin less than 10 seconds, and it was 2.5 seconds over Joshua Gaffright back, I believe, Chicagoland. This battle continues, though. Fitzpatrick back down to the inside.
Yeah, they about made contact on the front straightaway. It was really close between these two.
This one might go down to the wire.
It absolutely might, but just behind them, Reese is coming off the corner, about to take the white flag. Oh,
St. Court got the wall. It's not over, though.
It was just a kiss, not that bad, but can he gather it all back up to get back to this 5th?
He might have to use the bumper if he wants another chance.
Oh, it looked like he almost wanted to right there.
Reese Schaefer's going to take the white flag presented by Whiplash Media Sim Cams. Is there any more goes for Andrew St. Court in this battle for 4th? Not that time.
You got one more time as our leader's just coming off at turns 3.
Going into turn 3, not coming off yet.
Turn 3.
And it'll be for the 5th time in his Outlaw Sim Series career. Reese Schaefer wins it at Nashville. And his 4th win by a margin greater than 10 seconds.
Oh, Andrew St. Court's going to run down the back straightaway. He's going to look to the bottom.
Oh, his contact!
Fitzpatrick saves it.
And I think Andrew did not mean to do that. He's going to let Seth Fitzpatrick hold the spot. Seth Fitzpatrick is 4th. And Reeves gets 5th. St. Court 6th. What a wild turn of events. All
my
that.
goodness.
Reeves is already coming around to celebrate.
Oh my goodness.
Reese Schaefer for the 5th time in his Outlaw Sim Series career is a winner. And Ed, the tracks he's won at in the Outlaw Sim Series: Kentucky, Kansas, Chicago, Eldora, and Nashville. So 3, and this track looks like 1.5 miles, so you can say 3.5, 4 mile and a halves, and Eldora.
About close enough, yeah. I mean, just dominant performance. I mean, just perfect execution from the 17 and everybody at Swift Racing. I mean, they got a nice little 1, 3, 7, 8. So, good overall for this Swift Racing bunch. I mean, just looks like the 17 just had the better of days of the Swift Racing camp.
Reese Schaefer, can drive these cars. That is for sure.
And I think Max is unleashing his engine on the front straightaway while Reese is burning out in front of the pace car.
Well, we'll let Reese do his celebrations. And again, what a job from Reese Schaefer.
This is interesting. Taking a visit to the pace car.
And Reese Schaefer goes ahead and he visits the pace car. He never really got to see the pace car tonight because we went green wire to wire. But Reese, for the 5th time in your Outlaws Sim Series career, you win. And 4 of those 5 times, Reese, you've won by a margin greater than 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was man, it was a crazy race. So we started up P4 and got through some of the traffic, and Vinny got sent to the back because of his connection, and I just kept running my race, made a couple minor adjustments, but didn't really touch the setup too much. Just made some tire pressure adjustments, and next thing you know, after a couple pit stops, I had some pretty good entries and exits, and by the end of it, I was pretty far out there, so it was pretty awesome.
Absolutely, and Reese, we were looking at it. I was looking at it. Looking back at your season 1 victories, and I saw when you had the gap of about 10-11 seconds with like 10 laps to go. I'm like, this is normal for a race. Does it when you get that lonely feeling, but you see number 1 next to your name on your relative, do you just kind of have like that feeling that it's just gonna go your way? Or...
I honestly, I think I have the opposite feeling. Like, I was sitting there at the end there, I was waiting for the caution to come out, but I just knew I was just checking my margins. I really, what I ended up doing later in the race, I just turned off the relative and everything. I just focused, tried to hit my marks, and tried to make sure I was setting a pretty good pace, and I definitely was setting pretty good times compared to Jennings and everyone behind me, so it worked out really well.
And the strategy looked pretty straightforward. Pit around the 50 mark and around the 100 mark. I know your teammates took a different approach. They were going for stage points. Was there any strategy you were considering besides just the easy 50-100 pit, or what were you thinking strategy-wise? So
we really, to be honest, we didn't really set up a strategy at all prior to the race, and so once we got going, I realized that we could probably go about 68 laps, 70 laps on fuel. So, I mean, also too, when we were about, I'd say 35 laps in, and we were already down about 2 seconds compared to the start of the run. It's only 30 seconds a lap around here, so 15 laps you already caught back up. So I figured, just 50, 100, and 150 were definitely the best, just the 2-stop strategy, and it definitely worked out in the end. So,
well, there you go, Reese Schaefer, 2nd win on the season, 5th in your career, and absolute dominant performance as per usual when it is a Reese Schaefer victory. Reese, congratulations, and go ahead and celebrate that one. That was a dominant performance.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Driver of the number 17, Reese Schaefer, in that Healthcare Billing Incorporated Toyota Camry. And Ed, dominant, I think, might be an understatement, because I think, as soon as he took the lead, it was lights out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've said it multiple times. I know this tonight in this broadcast, but he just executed perfectly. I mean, just what do you expect? I mean, to win these races, you have to be perfect no matter what. You have to go out front. You have to just maintain your consistent pace. And I mean, Reese Schaefer did that. He hit his pit road entries just perfect. No bad executions on pit road. Didn't miss his box. Had great exits and just got around lap traffic cleanly, perfect, and executed everything he had to do to get the win tonight.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our race results tonight, Ed. And going down the first page, it's Reese Schaefer with the victory. 107 laps led. He started 5th. The driver from Midland, Michigan put a butt kicking on him. 12.6 seconds ahead of Jonathan Jennings. Seth Berger, 16.2 seconds back. Seth Fitzpatrick finishes 4th. 24.2 seconds back. Jacob Reeves, 5th. 25.6 seconds back. Andrew St. Cyr, 26th. Wow. Andrew St. Cyr is 6th, 25.8 seconds. Let's just go there. Schaefer wins, Jennings 2nd, Berger 3rd. And then it was that crazy battle that we saw coming to the line. Fitzpatrick saves the car, finishes 4th. Jacob Reeves takes advantage of the ailing Andrew St. Cyr to the line, finishes 5th. St. Cyr 6th. Schumacher comes home 7th. Max Service closes the lead lap out in 8th. Matthew Byers finishes 9th, 1 lap down, and Jacob Zala rounds out the top 10. Ed?
Yeah, and 11th, Jeremiah Stutzman, who we thought was going to have a little bit of a strategy going, finishes 2 laps down, 11th. Adam Gardner, who had an early incident with Landon Cardulo, and early on in the race finishes 12th, 2 laps down as well, alongside the 13th, 67 of Doug Solms. 14th, Matthew Setzer in the 5, had a good showing all night tonight, consistently having a rough little pace, but finishes 2 laps down, 14th. Matt Rogers in the 96 is 15th, 4 laps down. Kevin Powell had a night that he definitely wants to forget, having 2 incidents, one in the beginning and one towards the end, where he got pushed into the grass on the front straightaway not once but twice, finishes 24 laps down, 16th. Lane Lacey, who didn't have the strategy go his way and just called it a day early, finishes 17th, 41 laps down. Justin McMahon also didn't have a strategy going his way, also called it early, 18th, 42 laps down. Landon Cardulo, like I mentioned, had the incident with Adam Gardner early on in the race and could not recover, finishes 19th, 97 laps down. And Devin Smith in the 95 also called it early on in the race, finishes 20th, 120 laps down.
And running out the final page of our results tab, James Gilliard finishes 21st, 122 back. Greg Holt 22nd, 130 back. Vincent Cortez scored the pole, led some laps, but unfortunately had to park it due to connection issues. 23rd, 132 back. John Mickey, Andrew Schroeder did not take the green flag this evening, Ed. The 25 cars entered, 23 started, and say 15 or so finished. Things kind of went a little, well, it went green to the end. It was kind of a race of attrition, and it was the race of Reese Schaefer tonight. But don't you go anywhere. We got more post-race coverage coming up on the far side of this break. More post-race interviews, kind of a preview of next week of the All-Star race, a little preview of the playoffs, all that jazz coming up on the far side of this break. Don't you go anywhere.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Nashville, Tennessee. We're now in the post-race coverage of tonight's Outlaws Sim Series regular season finale. And we have second place finisher Jonathan Jennings standing by with Ed Sure.
Oh.
Looks like we do not have second place finisher Jonathan Jennings.
Well,
so we'll move on down the line. We got third place finisher Seth Berger standing by, Ed.
Hey, Seth Berger, boys in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, you got me.
I got you loud and clear, my friend. All right, man. Well, looks like the strategy you had in mind was a little different than your teammates of Reese Schaefer and a couple others out there. What was the plan? Was that the plan all night tonight to go a little bit longer than Reese, or did it just pop up randomly that you thought you can possibly catch him on fresher tires in the end?
I always naturally like to go longer than other people, but once I saw that you could make it to the end of stage 2 on fuel, I figured I should just take the guaranteed playoff point there. So as soon as I came across the line to finish stage 2, came down to pits from there and just try to play catch up from there. But I'm glad I got that playoff point, winning that stage, and congrats to Reese. If I'd played the same strategy, there's no guarantee I could have beat him. He was fast.
Yeah, that was basically going to be my second question I was going to ask you about that whole thing, possibly staying out for the playoff point, but you answered that one for me. But, yeah, like I mentioned to Emerson, too, every playoff point matters in this kind of system that we got going on in the Outlaws Sim Series. Do you just feel like you needed that playoff point to just have an extra security blanket going on forward?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like you said, every point matters. I mean, great example is Kevin Harvick in 2020 misses out on the championship 4 by 1 point, and he won the regular season. And where else did he get that one more point? So I got my one more point tonight.
Absolutely, it was a great strategy for you, Seth, no matter what. But next week we go a little bit more different. We're going all-star racing, man. I mean, little high banks at Kansas. Might see a little low high line action at Kansas Motor Speedway. How you feel about cashing in Kansas?
That'd be awesome to get the win. That's where I got my Season 1 championship in Outlaws, so that'd be cool to win there again. And I love ripping the wall, but I'm going to be mad if everyone's up there. I'd kind of just like to go wherever anyone isn't, but I think there probably is going to be a little bit of everything next week, so that'll be fun. Hopefully it's a fun race with open setup.
Well, Seth, it was definitely fun watching you out there with that Burgard Chevrolet out there and that Camaro, and definitely had a lot of your fans out there supporting you no matter what. A great finish overall for you in that 77 bunch, and we'll see you all-star racing next week in Kansas, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Got a shout out. Got a video coming out. I'm thinking Friday will be out. Make sure you guys are on the lookout for that, and drop to finally come out next week.
Well, you heard the man. Go watch that video and get ready to support them Burgarts guys. But thanks again, Seth, for everything. Congratulations.
That was driver out of number 77, Seth Berger. The driver I want to bring up is the driver who ended up finishing 5th and kind of saw everything kind of go down right in front, Jacob Reeves. Top 5 for you there at the end, maybe a little surprising. What you see kind of going into 3 and 4.
I was in the right place at the right time, to be honest with you. To be honest, I didn't see that coming, to be honest. I knew they was racing hard, and I don't know, it looked like he just drove in there and I guess he tried to move him. I guess was the deal. He was trying to move him, and then it ended up about wrecking Seth, but and then he said somebody ran out of gas right there at the end or whatever, so I got lucky to get by him. So, but all in all, it was a good race. I kind of screwed up a little bit in the first stage, kind of overdrove it. I shouldn't have done that, but I kind of got carried away. But once again, 2 weeks in a row, only practiced for about an hour and come home with a top 5 both times. So I'm starting to see a good trend here.
That's a great trend to have, Jacob, especially now that you're officially into the playoffs. And you said you're not, I mean, not able to put as much practice as you'd like, but only the hour before the session. It looks like it's enough. So how are you feeling now, kind of through the regular season, about what's coming up for you?
Well, to be honest with you, we're trying to make the Final Four.
There you go.
mean, that's everybody's goal right now, is making it to the Final Four. But we know there's 3 stages or 3 rounds that you got to go through, and we just got to take each round 1 round at a time. And we got the All-Star race coming up, and I heard that I'm actually going to have to race my way in because I ain't got to win. So, and then I also heard they got a fan vote. So, anybody got social media, hit me up, vote for me, whatever. Get me in, however you want to do it. I'll start campaigning or whatever if I need
start
to.
Campaigning. Share the
But
poster around.
yeah, I mean, but looking back on it, I mean, I ain't trying to get cocky or nothing, but looking back on it, honestly, I felt like we should already be locked into that All-Star race because, looking back on some of the races I screwed up on and some of the races that I kind of threw away with Pocono and, I think I probably could have had Iowa. Just some of those races that I threw away, I should already have a win this season, but I'm not letting it, get me down. We just take it one week at a time, and that's that's all I can really do is just take it 1 week at a time and take what pretty much everybody gives me apparently. So.
Well, there you go. I'd imagine you feel pretty confident about being able to race your way into the All-Star if you have to.
Yeah, I got a pretty good car. I've already done a little testing on it just to be on the safe side, see what I got. I feel like I got something to get into the All-Star race, which will be pretty good. I don't want to rely on a fan vote. I never have wanted to do that. I mean, I know a bunch of people that watch. They're great fans and family and everything, but I feel like that would somewhat be, I guess you could say, a crutch. If you get the fan vote. So I mean, I'd like to earn everything that I got. I was always raised that way by my dad, so I like to earn everything that I get. So hopefully we can earn it, next week.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Another top 5 for you, Jacob Reeves. You set yourself up for the playoffs and feeling pretty confident about next week All-Star Open to hopefully make it into the All-Star race. Congratulations on your top 5, Jacob, and best of luck to you in the coming weeks.
Appreciate it, guys.
Now it's driver of the number 22, and we have one more interview, Ed, and this is one that's gonna have some because this is the unofficial regular season champion. Gonna add 15 bonus points to his name. That's basically 3 more wins worth of playoff points. But even though he finished 8th tonight, that should be enough with his stage 2 finish ahead of Jennings. And staying close enough in stage 1 that he should be able to get the championship. So he's headed your way, Ed.
Yeah, unofficially, our regular season champion, Max Service came home finishing in 8th. Max, what was going on tonight? It just seems like you had that early momentum going on early where it looked like you were going to finish around the top 5, top 3 area, and then it looked like the strategies just didn't fall in your area.
Yeah, tonight just proved why I don't play for stage points ever with the strategy. We probably should have finished 4th or so, maybe 5th. Without that, even the way the strategy was going, we might have been on for maybe a 4th or so place finish, probably 5th. But I didn't hear Kevin Powell call out pitting, and I kind of ran him over and ruined mine and his race doing that, so I'd like to apologize to him. Did the same thing to Fitzpatrick early in the race and gave myself more front end damage. So each round of pit stop wasn't too kind for me.
Yeah, we saw that a little bit both times, and that was unfortunate with Kevin Powell and with Seth Fitzpatrick. But no matter what, it was still good recovery overall for you. Top 10, no matter what, is a good day overall. But unofficially, you're the regular season champ. I know you get that extra little 15 playoff points going into it all, and I know you want to think you have a comfortable lead and everything, but you think you got to change up a little bit more for this playoff. I know consistency is big in these playoffs to make it all the way to that championship race. Do you think you have to change anything going into the playoffs to make it into that championship 4 or 5?
Consistency is usually my thing. The problem is stage points. Usually we just kind of come out of nowhere and get a decent finish when the car sucks. And that doesn't mean good things for the stage points, so that means I have to unload with something good every week. Yeah, I got nothing better than that to say.
Well, Max, I mean, just go away a little bit from the playoffs. Next week we have the All-Star race, and officially you were locked into that, being a winner this season and last season. So, no matter what, how you feel about going All-Star racing in Kansas next week?
I cannot describe how much I hate Kansas as a racetrack. I still think they should light that place on fire and just burn it. I know a lot of people like it. I am not that person. I'm trying to come up with some ways I can make that fun. Those don't involve winning the race, not even close to winning the race. we'll see what we do there. Maybe I'll actually try and come up with a setup for that, but that just sounds like a lot.
All right, well, apparently Kansas, you have to turn yourself into a short track according to Max Service because he wants it demolished from where it is now. But Max, no matter what, congratulations on your top 10, and we'll see you next week in Kansas for the All-Star race.
Yeah, thank you. Can't wait for it.
Regular season champion Max Service, and I'll confirm that. But obviously, next week at the All-Star race, after the points are all completely tabulated and all, but it looks pretty certain that Max kind of went ahead and secured that. But yeah, that's it for tonight, Ed. Again, we have the All-Star race coming up, and Adam Gardner was able to get me the format for next week's race. So, of course, we have the All-Star Open. That's going to be a quick one. It's 3 segments, but you're only counting 10, 10, and 5 laps apiece. And then the All-Star race itself is going to be 80 laps at 30, 30, and 20 laps apiece. That second segment of the All-Star race, it's going to be a mandatory pit stop as well. So that is going to be fun to see as well. See what drivers do. See how drivers attack the pit lane there. And do drivers try to pit lap 1? Do drivers try to pit lap 30 in that second segment? That'll be a lot of fun to figure out then, Ed. But pretty excited for next week's show. It's going to be much more laid back. Hopefully you're able to join me for that. But, it should be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly excited to go All-Star racing in Kansas, but it's a little bit more different. I mean, we're used to All-Star racing in Texas or Bristol or, some other track, but we're doing Kansas. It's a little bit more different. So it's going to be exciting. It's definitely look forward to seeing how these guys compete and have some fun, hopefully, and see everybody be a little friendly there in the All-Star race. I mean, I know we got a little race going on for some, for some pride in it. You always want to say you're an All-Star winner in the season of Outlaws, so it'll be interesting to have some fun in Kansas next week.
Absolutely, and I'm not exactly sure yet, but I know there was some money up for grabs the last time we did an All-Star, so we'll see if that's also up for grabs this time around. Take a look at the playoff schedule that we got coming up. We've gone now through all the 26 races that are not highlighted, and we are now officially looking at those 10 lit up races there in the bottom right. Well, before we get there, we have, of course, Kansas next week with the All-Star. But after Kansas next week with the All-Star race, we start the playoff set. Daytona Road Course, Milwaukee, Charlotte Roval, round 1. USA International, Talladega, Darlington, round 2. Homestead, Atlanta, North Wilkesboro Road, round 3, and Richmond, the finale. This is a pretty stout lineup of tracks coming up. We've been talking about it all season, but it's basically here, Ed.
Yeah, I mean, I just really hope we bring our A game in this first round. I mean, we've seen a lot of people make mistakes at road courses this season. I mean, especially Laguna Seca, which is difficult because, nobody's ever been there with the next-gen cars and all, but any road course is really difficult. And I mean, we're going to 2 in the first round between the Daytona Road Course and the Charlotte Roval. Again, these next-gen cars in real life have never touched either one yet. They're going to go to the Charlotte Roval eventually, but they haven't been there yet. So we don't know what we're exactly going to expect, but it's probably going to be even more chaos, kind of like Laguna Seca, because these cars are really heavy. They're really difficult under braking. You got to get your braking points right. Got to make sure everything's intact. And then Milwaukee is that little split in the middle to where, you get that little comfort zone of going back to the oval before we go to another road course in the Charlotte Roval. That's my favorite road course, honestly. The Charlotte Roval is a really great road course to me. I know I love my Watkins Glen being my home track and all, but that's great. And then after that, round 2, USA International, Talladega, short track into a super speedway, and then ending off in Darlington. That's even more crazy. And then the fact that we got Atlanta, the new Atlanta, in the final round before the championship, that is going to be the make or break for one driver to make the championship forward. I'm going to call it now. Literally, whoever wins that race is going to be a championship or a playoff eligible driver that's going to make their way in the championship. I don't care what happens. It's going to be somebody surprising, and I will not be surprised by anything.
And it's wild, Ed. You look at it, I mean, Daytona Road can be a wild card, but it's so big, there's so much space that there's a lot of, if you make a mistake, there's a lot of grass, a lot of runoff. The Charlotte Roval doesn't have that much runoff, and we've seen it in real NASCAR. We even saw in Season 1, we had 4 full course cautions at Charlotte Roval in Season 1. And we don't typically have full course cautions at road courses, but in Outlaws we did have 4 at the Charlotte Roval. That can be a wild card. Talladega is a wild card. The new Atlanta is a wild card. We have a wild card in each round that could potentially project somebody into that championship 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, honestly, I mean, I know we have brackets to fill out and all like to make our championship. I don't feel comfortable making one.
I wouldn't either.
That's how I don't know how this is going to play out, because I feel like anything could happen. You know, Max just won the regular season championship, but like Seth said, Kevin Harvick was the regular season championship back in 2020, and he missed the championship race by 1 point going into Martinsville. Imagine going to North Wilkesboro 1 point below the cut line and you not make it into the championship race. That would just be insane.
Oh,
you just don't know what's going to happen.
That's right. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to find out. Here's what's upcoming for us in the coming weeks. At Monday night, we have NASCAR Rallycross at the Sonoma Rallycross course. That is going to be a fantastic show. 6:30 p.m. Eastern. You won't want to miss it. I mean, NASCAR, off-road, jumps. What more do I have to say? Next Wednesday night, we have the All-Star Race at Kansas Speedway, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Again, the All-Star Open is going to be 25 laps. And the All-Star Race is going to be 80 laps. Come join us for a fun night of non-points racing action next Wednesday night at the Kansas Speedway. And Wednesday, September 14th, is the beginning of the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs from the World Center of Racing, the Daytona International Speedway, but the road course with the NASCAR chicane. Yes, it's going to be 7:30 p.m. Eastern to kick off the Outlaws Sim Series playoffs. And Ed, what a slate of races.
Yeah, I mean, do we have to put any more emphasis on how Monday's going to be crazy? I mean, seriously. We have the Gen 6 cars going on a rally course in Sonoma. Seriously. And I didn't stutter either. I didn't stutter.
No,
it's
that's it.
Yes, the Gen 6 NASCAR cars at Sonoma Rally Course. Not the actual Sonoma Raceway, the rally course. It's going to be nuts. You got to tune in and watch that. That's going to be fantastic. I mean, and then what else? We got the All-Star Race at Kansas. I mean, it's going to be fun, you know. All the stars are going to be out, you know. Probably going to see some special paint schemes from some certain people. Who knows? But and then it gets all down to business. And all the gloves come off, and everyone's going to be as focused as they ever been all season. We go playoff racing. First playoff race, September 14th. Mark it on your calendars. I expect everybody to be here. I know a lot of fans are going to show out for that one, the first race of the playoffs. Daytona Road Course. What a better way to kick off the playoffs in round 1. I mean, right? A road course. We haven't done that. I don't think we've ever had a road course start the playoffs in NASCAR in general. I don't think. But other than that, it's going to be chaos. I'm excited for it. But I'm really thoroughly looking forward to Monday. I mean, I can't wait for that. 6:30, everyone. I want to see everybody that was in this broadcast tonight hopefully tune into that on Monday. I'm excited for that. I don't know thoroughly if I'm going to be in it, but we'll see. But if not, you can catch all of it on our social medias. I know we'll definitely be posting about it, Emerson, at some point. But
Absolutely.
well, all of our fun, you know, at facebook.com/pit.tv, instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, twitter.com/pit.tv_, or some of you may be watching on both the YouTube or the Twitch at youtube.com/pit.tv1 or at twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV. You can catch all the action there. All the broadcasts go both to YouTube, Facebook, and to Twitch. You can watch all the action there, but if not, you can catch all the social media on Instagram and Twitter, where we post all the action that we have going through here. I'm out of breath. I'm excited. I can't wait for Monday. Time to get on the plane. Let's go, Sonoma.
Yes, sir. Real quick, let's meet our playoff drivers, and it should be all of these drivers that are above the cut line. Max Service should be the regular season championship. Jennings, Berger with the coming in second and third. Seth Fitzpatrick and Jeremiah Stutzman, 4th and 5th, along with Adrian Schumacher. Those are the drivers who won their way in. Jacob Breves, James Gilliard, Scott Bailey, Adam Gardner should be the top 10. Might be close, but Andrew St. Cyr, Doug Solms, Matt Rogers, Devin Smith, Brad Boffel, and Derek McMurtry, they're going to have work. But those are your 16 drivers competing for the Outlaws Sim Series Championship this season. Greg Holt will not be on the title defense this season, so we will have at least a new champion in terms of we will not have Greg Holt going back to back. But that's going to do it from the Music City. We're happy to have had you all here tuning in and joining us for tonight's broadcast, and we hope you enjoyed the action. For all at Pit Stop TV, Ed Scher alongside myself on the mic, I am Emerson Arden. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you Monday night for NASCAR Rallycross at the Sonoma Raceway, or next Wednesday night for the Outlaws Sim Series All-Star Race from Kansas Speedway.